Twitch is up. YouTube is up. Facebook is up and starting.
Excellent.
And it's up. Okay, we are ready to go.
Nice.
Hi, guys.
What's up, guys?
We're on our third movie of Bad Movie Month,
Yeah.
which is Titanic. The Legend Goes On.
Yeah. Can I drown now,
Also
please?
known as the first movie of 3 animated Titanic movies.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
If we ever repeat Bad Movie Month, which I think for both of us right now is still up for discussion, those 2 movies may show up
They may.
because they're actually better animated.
Really? Okay.
Different company,
Oh, okay.
entirely different story.
Okay. At least it's
Right.
not trying to rip off the James Cameron movie.
Who said it wasn't?
Well, never mind then. At least there's
I
not a
didn't
rapping
say-
dog in that
I'm
one.
just saying there's not a Cinderella ripoff. There's not who looks like Anastasia.
True, she does look like Anastasia.
There, you don't have the 101 Dalmatians plus the geese from Aristocats,
Yeah,
plus An American Tail,
kind of.
plus about 100 other things,
Yeah. A movie that's trying to throw in everything at once.
and didn't bother to put any money towards an animation budget. There'll be some interesting things though when we hit trivia.
Yes.
But anyway, how are y'all doing?
Yeah, wait for the chat to fill.
I need to mute my phone.
Yes.
Thank you, Twitch's mobile live dashboard notification, for letting me know this. But yeah,
So we're gonna start. Obviously, we're gonna do this our third episode.
this is our third episode of Bad Movie Month. We've got one more. We are now passing both of the ones I picked,
into my territory.
and I think we can both agree both of my picks were down somewhere in the bottom of the cesspool.
Yeah,
Somewhere near the bottom.
Yeah, agreed.
We'll see how well Leo goes.
Yeah.
But then we're into October, which is going to be Halloween, and I don't even remember what our first movie is. Because we set all this up 2 months ago,
We did.
and I don't remember what we picked.
Isn't that like normal?
Frankenweenie.
Oh yeah.
See,
Which you can-
I knew it wasn't the weekend I was out because I know what's there, and I can edit that in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Which
Now-
I have to.
Now we do have to clarify. There are 2
This is the
Frankenweenie.
original Frankenweenie.
Or we're talking about the short, the live action.
You put stop motion.
Okay, so yeah, the original movie.
Because I think the new one is technically computer animated. They're
Hmm.
both Tim Burton.
Oh, it's about the original short, Frankenweenie.
There's the original short Frankenweenie, which
Mm.
is stop motion, and then there's the 3D animated movie called Frankenweenie, also directed by Tim Burton.
Burton. Gotcha.
They're both Tim Burton.
Okay, gotcha.
Anyway,
Either way,
we're doing 2 shorts in October. Apparently,
yeah,
only one of them. We'll only be recording one of them though,
yeah.
because the other one's already we recorded 2 years ago.
My gosh.
Because it's the last of the loony viruses that we have.
Which we need to work on that.
We do need to record some Tom and Jerry before it gets harder to do that, since we have no idea how much longer HBO Max is going to last.
True.
Because Discovery is apparently gutting it from what it looks like. I don't know if that's what's happening, but they are making some rather odd choices over there.
So we'll have to hop on that at some
Point.
point to get to more. Yeah,
Some long weekend.
exactly.
I mean, a long weekend. Just some weekend where we're not trying to do 30 things at once.
That is true.
But anyway.
Yeah. So we did a reaction to Pinocchio.
Yes.
2022
But-
on Disney Plus.
But I believe it will be releasing after this episode releases.
Okay.
For continuity's sake, I'm mentioning that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so just hang on to when you watch that.
We'll
When you
mention
listen,
that we watched it probably in the what we've been watching, but
yeah,
we won't talk about our. We'll say we watched it for a reaction, and
Yes.
because of weird timetables, that's why we had to do it weird.
yeah, exactly.
But anyway,
So look forward to that episode after the release of this episode.
along with more. I nearly said more Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Untangling Kingdom Hearts.
There we go.
I finally got past all of Snow White.
Good.
And now I'm going into Olympus Coliseum, more into Hercules, and there's a couple of familiar faces that are not from the movie Hercules that are in this section.
Ah,
Certain where is he? There he is. This guy right here.
Cloud.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Spiky guy with just be like, I'm up around because
Yeah.
my life
Sorry,
stinks.
this guy. For those of you watching.
Yeah.
Just set him right here.
All right.
I don't know how smart it is to put something that emits lightning this close to my mixer board, but we'll go with it.
Anyways, you want to get in this thing proper?
Yeah, Deela, are you here? Maybe
I heard something.
it's trying to.
It's playing.
Hang on. It played, but it didn't play. I know that makes a lot of sense to a lot of
Yeah,
people.
it absolutely totally makes sense. So yeah, guys, there we go. So if you are interested in, I don't know why you would be interested in watching this movie, but if you are interested, if you
want
are,
to suffer with us.
yes, if you want to suffer, you can probably go watch it on YouTube.
Actually, slight spoiler alert, this wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't terrible.
It was not food fight.
No, it wasn't food fight where you just wanted to throw it into the depths of the abyss and hope the Kraken eats it. No, the Kraken would actually
The
spit
Kraken
it
would
out.
throw it back up.
Exactly.
All right. Are you ready then?
Yes.
Deela, why don't you give us the intro, please, ma'am?
The Cellcast is recorded in front of a live streaming audience.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who, well, for him it's always party time. It's party time. How's it going, Jacob?
I knew you'd do that.
It was either that or if it weren't for you, I'd be in someone else's digestion.
Oh gosh. Oh my
It
gosh.
actually works too. But anyway,
Oh, why thank you. Let me introduce our co-host, a man who can I just jump off the bow of this boat and get away from the insanity? Welcome, Drew.
no, because the bow, according to this movie, went in first.
Okay, the stern then.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
You're the guy who's been on boats more than I have.
The bow is the front.
Yes.
The stern is the back.
Yes.
Starboard is to the right,
Mm.
while port is to the left.
Okay.
Now, you know how you keep the port and starboard separate?
How?
Both words have the letter R in them, but starboard has two. So it's on the right.
Okay. Well, that makes some sense. Maybe eventually I'll get to be able to go on a cruise at some point.
Well, even if you're on just a normal boat,
That is true.
that all those words technically apply there.
That is true.
But anyway,
Yes.
we are reviewing, for those of you who haven't figured it out yet, in our third movie of Bad Movie Month, Titanic, The Legend Goes On. A ripoff of the James Cameron movie.
Which I still haven't watched.
Neither have I, but boy, can you tell even then what parts they ripped off from Titanic.
Just a little bit. Minus they just flip things around, but it's the exact same and it's so
Pretty
cheesy.
much. There was no art scene, but that's fine.
No.
But anyway, how are you doing,
Gosh.
Jacob?
Man, I am doing good. I'm trying not to get that bizarre image in my head. That's gonna be a weird one. Anyways, I'm doing well. Work is work. Yeah, the weekend was great. Actually, it was kind of funny. So I went to a Young Living, which is we sell Young Living oils and products.
He does. I don't.
Yeah, I do. He doesn't. He thinks it's just snake oils.
I never said that.
I'm kidding.
And you're not the reason I'm saying that, because you know how I feel.
Yeah,
But we do have a friend who, if the word snake oil is said, I will be killed.
that is true. Dead. Just all dead.
All the Dodgem boys are dead.
All the Dodgem boys are dead. But as some people might say, snake oils. Not referring to this guy at all.
I never said that. Considering how it has kept you in the past 4 years from barking on the show,
True.
much to my chagrin, because I still want to catch that on audio one time.
Rough.
But then I do understand why you would definitely freshen up that before you came over.
Yes. Yes.
I
Control
can
the dog within.
I can admit that there is some legitimacy to essential oils. I still don't want it.
Okay, fair enough. So I went to that, and then me and my girlfriend she drove to Tyler, which is up the road from where we live.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bigger town than where we live. Went for a walk. Technically, but nuance. So we went for a walk, came back. So
You're about to tell this story.
Yes,
you?
I am, and it's funny. To me, it's funny. And funny in hindsight, it is funny.
Go ahead. I'll defend myself later.
Okay. So I'm be like, we're getting into where we live in small East Texas town. So I'm pulling in and be like, I've texted Drew earlier about, hey, let's do a reaction to Pinocchio. And then I get a text and be like, I'm at your door. I'm like, what in the world? And it's like, okay, I'll be there in a few minutes. And
so I'm patient.
Yes, very patient. So I drive. Well, Ashley drives up in her little white rental car, and I can see Drew standing right next to my door. And it's just like, so I give him a call and say, hey, Drew.
No. This is yeah. You did go straight to the call.
I did call you because I did see you.
Yeah. In my mind, you texted first, and I couldn't figure out. Then you called because you thought that might be easier. But no, you did call first. So fair. I'll tell my side of this in a minute.
Well, so Drew, I say, hey, Drew, I think I said go to the stairs, which I meant to say go to the road, but for some reason I said go to the stairs. And then you go to the stairs, then go to the other side of the stairs, which is an apartment complex.
The other stairs. There's two stairs here.
Yes.
And I don't know which direction you're coming from.
Yes, my mistake.
I didn't know what was going on.
Yes.
I looked at the stairs. I thought, oh, maybe he meant the other stairs. Maybe he's trying to get my attention because he needs some help over in the laundromat, because there's a laundromat right behind your building.
Yeah, agreed. It's so to us, I'll be like, Ashley is trying not to laugh so hard because Drew is like, he's looking up like, where the heck are you? So I finally get his attention. He walks over and I'm
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your date. Hang on, before you get to this part, let me tell my story.
Okay. You tell your side of the story.
So I'm here at the apartment. I've had a nice restful day trying to get a little bit of podcast work done.
Right.
Was working on the research for Untangling Kingdom Hearts.
Uh-huh.
In other words, watching somebody else's playthrough of the game, since you can't actually play the game anymore.
Okay.
That I'm actually looking at the moment. And you text me about wanting to do a reaction to Pinocchio.
Yes.
I don't know if you mean now.
Okay,
at that moment,
fair,
or if you meant Monday, or what have you. But I was like, I will. I saw the thing. I said, I will think on this after I finish, because I was like, I still had like 10 minutes left of what I was.
Oh yeah.
So I finished that up, and I looked down there and thought, and for whatever reason, I decided to step outside. And I saw your car was there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, I have no way of, in my defense, I will say.
Okay, in your defense.
In the last 4 years, if I saw your car in front of your apartment, the only reason you would not be there is if you'd gone for a walk.
Exactly.
So in my mind, You should be home.
Okay, that's fair.
So I
Totally fair.
I step back into the apartment, never thinking to actually text him to see if it's okay for me to come over, because
yes,
there was something that, because I was also still concerned for my brother in Christ here.
Yeah,
after
fair.
an event had happened earlier in the week. We won't get into it, but I was still concerned for him.
right.
And we hadn't talked since then. So
Right.
still making sure everything's on the up and up, trying to be
Right.
there for my good Christian brother here.
Good. Thanks. Appreciate that.
And my way of doing that was walking up to his door unannounced.
Well, to be fair, be like, you do have this tendency, be like a good tendency of worrying.
I come from a long line of worry warts.
It's fine.
So I walk over there. Somewhere in here, I do think maybe I should text him.
Yeah.
No. I continue walking over there, and I rang the doorbell. And I waited a couple minutes. I thought, in that small an apartment, if he didn't just come over to the door like within the first couple minutes, he's probably in the bathroom. So I nearly asked you if you were in the bathroom, but thought, no, I'm not going to do that because that might be embarrassing,
True.
even if you are. So, and I didn't even knock on your door because that would have made too much sense at this point in time. So I was like, oh, I'll just text him. If he's on the bathroom, he'll get the message and I'll understand. And anyway, I text, I'm at your door. Because I'm
Yes.
thinking if you were in the bathroom,
Yeah.
and you heard the doorbell go off and you couldn't immediately finish what you were doing and
Yes.
get the door,
Yes.
that you would like to know who was at your door.
Yes.
So I said, I'm at your door.
And I
And
reply,
then you,
what?
And you said, what's this? Hang on, let me bring the text
I'm
up.
looking at the text right now. I say what? Then
Hang
you
on,
reply.
hang on, let me
Okay,
bring it up.
This is actually kind of
I
funny.
said, I'm at your door. Let's just do this as a
Okay.
as a,
I got you.
as a
Got you.
skit here.
Okay.
I'm at your door.
What?
Your doorbell not work? Or are you not home? Admittedly, I should have asked before just walking over.
I'll be there in a second. Now,
That's how that went.
that's how that
And
went.
then I'm sitting there going, okay. I thought, okay, he's out walking, but he says he's going to be here in a sec. He's probably just like around the corner. I probably just timed this really, really well.
Yeah. Well,
Because
technically you did.
because he was out for a walk. I didn't think about it. And then you call me and say, hey, look towards the stairs. So I look at the stairs. Granted, I had just seen an old, look like a grandmother and her granddaughter
Yeah. Walk down
the stairs.
Yes.
We're going to their car. And I saw a white car pull up,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't know what car she was.
The rental car.
actually was-
she's- Yeah.
Well, I didn't know what her rental car was, since the pirate car is still in the shop,
Yes.
getting its eye replaced.
Arr.
And I saw the car pull up, but I didn't think
Mhm.
about that being a rental car. It had
Yeah.
Georgia plates.
That is true.
Why on earth would I think that was y'all?
That is true.
And so you say you look towards the stairs, and I'm focused on the stairs. It's like, well, I don't see here. Maybe he means the other stairs. And I look over at the other stairs. You're not there either. And you say, no, Drew, the other stairs. I looked over here, and I was like, still don't see. He says, and so I look, and I'm thinking maybe I'm confused. I don't know. It was a weird couple of moments. I'm thinking, I'm feeling like an idiot. What's he trying to tell me? And finally, I think, oh, he must be over in the laundromat because, granted, it's the end of the week.
True.
And the only other discussion we had since Thursday
Right.
was me asking if you had gotten the album art done for the Food Fight episode.
Yes.
And you said that the pencils were done. And it never occurred to me what would stop you from going from pencils to ink to color as fast as you normally do.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to me that, oh, you might have been picked up to go have a date and you'd only gotten the pencils done so far. That had not occurred to me.
Right.
It just, because in my mind, in my defense,
Right.
no, it just didn't cross my mind.
Yeah.
This is what might be going on. It's like I said, I saw your car. I made an assumption you weren't in the middle of anything,
Right.
or in the middle of anything that was not going to take a while.
Right.
All of a sudden, finally, you say, "Look towards the stairs and look for the weirdo who's waving at you." I go, "There's no." Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were having a date. And then, we just talked for like a couple minutes. We got everything squared away.
Yes.
And scheduled.
Yes.
I apologize profusely for
fine.
interrupting your date. And then I walk back over here with my face blood red because it's like I just embarrassed myself completely. I had good intentions. I just didn't do it right.
I completely understand. We all do it.
And then I made the decision. If we are looking at those being our plans for yesterday, I may want to stream tonight. So that's why I streamed Saturday instead of yesterday.
Okay.
Because we had something else we were doing yesterday.
Yes.
But anyway,
oh,
that's my side of the story.
I got you. That was a very fun little moment. Just fun little moment. To me, it was funny. It was slightly embarrassing.
Slightly embarrassing to me because I
here.
did not think about it.
It's fine.
It's like
because even Ashley said, I mean, like I'm thinking it's like, man, be like Drew is such an intelligent person. He's gonna pick up on it in a second. And nope.
Because here's the thing. When I have an idea in my mind about what's going on, as
right.
I obviously had before I left the apartment,
yes,
it takes a long bit of time for that to come out of my head. And it took me looking over at the car and seeing you in the passenger seat going, he was on a date. I am an idiot. Anyway.
You had the best intention, which I am grateful for.
Because I was worried about you all weekend, but was trying to give you your space.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. That was just more. I got frustrated at something, and
which I still say, well, it's not your fault.
No, I blew it out of proportion. I got mad at myself. And you learn. You live and learn. We're not gonna get into
and then get diapers.
And hopefully don't get diapers. No, but either or.
I had to use a generic term because loves is crap. That's copyright. Anyway, moving on.
Oh my gosh, this was an interesting tangent. Anyways, it was a very interesting weekend. The week has gone pretty good. It feels like it should be like Thursday instead of Tuesday. But
I agree with this.
Oh, brother. So I was there was a I learned of a fellow employee who I don't get along there very well with. Because one, he's a grump. Was gonna leave, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. Now Grant, I don't say that lightly at all when it comes to like people I work with, because I get along with everybody, but for some reason just don't get along with this guy.
Fair.
And then the next thing I know, be like someone's telling me the other day, it's like, he got rehired, or like he decided against it. I'm like, okay, I'm talking to teenagers here, and then today I'm checking of all times. So I'm stuck behind a register, which is always fun.
Yeah.
And me and my,
I personally prefer that to pushing carts, but everyone's different.
Exactly. But so I asked someone who's, a little more management, and he confirms, yes, this person decided to stay. I'm like, well, frack.
I'm so sorry, dude.
It happens.
I know your frustrations with this person.
All I can say is just pray for the guy. I'm not going to name him this name Sacker at where I work. If you would, please. It's appreciated. So today was interesting. Let's just say that. It was nothing bad. It was just kind of like, okay, this is going to be it for a while. This is going to be this is going to be the season for a while, and just trust in the Lord and not blow up.
Yeah,
that's all I can say about that. But I got home, I got relaxed, did the notes, was very quick, and I was very surprised how quickly those notes went for this review.
Well, there's not a whole lot to pull from.
No, there's not. No, there's not. But I am definitely looking forward to doing this review. Definitely the TAS.
Are you you're more interested in the TAS than I think the Titanic.
Yeah. There's parts of this movie you'd be like, okay, that's interesting, but
that was a decision.
Yeah, that was a decision, but it is, hopefully the rest of the week will just flow by, and then we can get to the weekend and have fun with the weekend.
Indeed.
How's your week been?
It's been a week.
Like
you, I feel like this should be Thursday.
Amen to that.
It's just been a busy week, and it's only 2 days in.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that's just because I have been going nonstop since Sunday, pretty much.
Yeah.
It seems like the only time I've stopped is to go to sleep. But anyway, it's just been a week.
Yeah.
I don't really have much more to add. So, Jacob, I have a question for you, my friend.
What is that?
What have you been watching?
All right. So what have I been watching? Very good question. Let's answer that. So we talked about it earlier. We did a reaction to Pinocchio 2002 on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the movie. I know
But we watched it anyway.
we watched it. We watched it. We watched it separately.
We did watch it separately.
Yeah, which tends happens when you have scheduling,
It was the thing came up at the last minute.
Yeah, pretty much. My girlfriend and listener Ashley said, "Hey, you need to watch Pinocchio because I watched it recently and I thought it was really good." So it's like, okay, sure enough, why not? When a fan wants a reaction, why not?
Yeah. Especially when it's a new movie that it fits in our wheelhouse.
Exactly. So we watched that. Check out the reaction when it comes out. I think after this
episode,
after this
going to
episode.
release it sometime this week.
So I've got on
Sunday. Anyway,
let's see. Man, if I can talk today. I watched a little bit of Stranger Things season 2. Really,
Mhm.
really good. I'm nearly done with it.
yeah.
I finished Arcane, League of Legends on Netflix. That was a weird show. It was
Do you know anything about League of Legends?
barely.
You know more than me.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say, from my understanding, you need to kind of know what's going on in League of Legends to understand the movie. From
Okay.
what I was told. I
Yeah.
don't know specifically.
But artistically, it's very well done. Arcane is done very well artistically, and I love the character designs. Love the world building and everything in it. Now, Grant, I'm not a gamer. I'm not like my brother in Christ here, who's a gamer. But I thoroughly enjoyed the show, and then I decided to, because this newer series came out on Netflix, Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Ah,
That was
another video game related property.
exactly partially animated by Studio Trigger.
You'd have to.
Yeah, exactly. So be like we did the movie we were
We've done a couple of Studio
Trigger
things.
movies. Oh my gosh.
The one that is really the one people are going to think about is Promare.
Yeah, Promare.
I think that's
Yeah.
Studio Trigger.
It's Studio Trigger.
Yeah.
So when I heard they were Studio Triggers were behind this series, I was like, oh heck yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Like, it's not for kids. It's not a family friendly show at all.
No, not if
Period.
it's going to be connected to that video game.
Yeah, no.
That's like, that video game is rated M for mature.
Yeah.
Technically,
Okay.
it's not. It's pushing hard not to be rated adults only.
Okay. Fair.
Very pushing that.
Yeah,
rating, 'cause
I could
if
tell.
it got adults only, it could not be sold.
True.
But yeah,
But yeah, I started
That's the
watching. I started watching. I think I'm on episode 3. I think it's an interesting show. Now, granted, not a gamer. I'm not like my brother in Christ here, who's a gamer. Like I said before, but
granted, I've only played like 5 minutes of Cyberpunk, and then I shut it off and never played it again.
I had a friend at work who's he's a gamer like you, and he's like, dude, you gotta play this game. I'm like, okay, but it was glitchy and buggy when it first came out.
Yes, it was. They've supposedly fixed it. I don't know. I hadn't
Supposedly.
looked at it again.
Supposedly. All right, so the one that, because to give you more of a heads up behind the cellcast, behind the scenes, because we originally were going to do original TAS. It was the notion that we would do Dragon Ball Z abridged.
At some point.
At some point, we would do that.
Right.
And
Because
so,
in all honesty, as much as we both like Dragon Ball,
yeah.
Dragon Ball Z specifically,
Mhm.
Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z Kai are entirely too long for this this format.
Agreed.
They
Agreed.
it's just too long. We have lives.
Yeah, agreed.
Though,
So-
admittedly, if we ever do this, there are a couple of actual episodes that say we're going to take a quick detour and watch Goku and Piccolo learn how to drive.
So
Because that should be experienced.
agreed. So
You watch some Dragon Ball Z abridged.
oh
I'm taking.
yes, I pulled up on
Which
YouTube.
season?
Season 1, and I'm in season 2, like episode 18.
Episode 18.
They just
Is the Ginyu Force
the
showing up?
Ginyu Force is just showing up, and they just took out the four-eye guy with the
Goldo.
dog treats.
Goldo.
That's
That's funny.
that was funny. Here's a dog treat. It's like, oh, dude.
Ah, the majestic space duck. What a
Quack.
majestic creature. Quack! Oh, wait till you get to the muffins. That tells you nothing.
No, it doesn't. I know that there was a muffin joke where Goku
I have to ask.
okay.
Did you watch the Dragon Ball Z Kai abridged between season 1 and season 2?
No.
Okay, let me put it in perspective here. Dragon Ball Z did the entire Saiyan saga
Yeah.
in something to like 24, 26 episodes.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Z Kai, the official abridgment,
Yeah.
did that in about 12 to 13 episodes.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, both those half-hour shows. Dragon Ball Z Abridged does the Saiyan Saga in about 13 10-minute episodes. Dragon Ball Z Kai Abridged does the entire Saiyan Saga in 2 minutes. And it's hilarious the entire time. If you didn't see it, when we are done, before you leave, we're watching that.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
Because I'll put it this way. There was a time where I was editing those episodes
I remember you
for
telling me
my
that.
own just because I could,
Yeah.
into like one long movie. I used this as the last time on Dragon Ball Z Flashback. And I just put the whole thing in there, just cutting off the stuff on either end, and then just like, and now the thing starts.
But
Also, you need. We'll talk later. We'll talk later. This is something I geek out about because the show is hilarious.
just a little bit. So I'm laughing my butt off, like extremely laughing my keister off every single minute.
I'm doing my best not to be quoting certain scenes.
I know.
I want to so bad.
Just quote one.
Just one. Vegeta, look. More bald people. There's the short one, the two tall ones, and Vegeta, look! A Pokemon. I'm not a Pokemon. I'm Chaozu. Chaozu. You hear that, Vegeta? It's a Chaozu, and I'm gonna catch it. I keep telling you, ow! I didn't catch it. Why'd that happen? It's because you have to damage it first, Nappa. I'm going for a critical. Oh my gosh. I'm dead. Vegeta, what's the scouter say about his power level? It's 1006. Oh, really? That's his? Oh, yes. Nappa, yes, Vegeta. I'm sorry. The scouter, I had the scouter on upside down. His power level is over 9,000. Why do you sound so bored? Because it still pales in comparison to me. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
We will be doing this at some point.
So
We may be doing it my way.
oh gosh.
No, I'm just saying. I think I still have the files
Maybe.
that I edited, so we'll just do it like instead of the 5-minute episodes, we'll just do like half of the season one episode, half the season the other episode, that sort of thing.
Maybe.
Because they're like 10-minute episodes. It's not. Tangled is 50 minutes
True.
for when we do this, so it's not that much different.
Oh gosh.
But then we'll have to include the movies,
Oh my gosh.
and by movies I mean half hours because they're that short.
So the one that got me was Ghost Nappa. Ghost Nappa. I love
Vegeta, I'm hunting you.
Like
Shut up, Ghost of Dead Nappa.
Krillin's like, who are you talking about?
We'll get to that.
We'll get
to that.
Oh my gosh. But it was absolutely hysterical. If you've never watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged, go on YouTube
Go,
and just
go to Team 4 Stars
Yeah.
YouTube channel. It's all there. They only did the Saiyan saga, the Frieza saga, and the Android and Cell sagas. They did not go into Buu saga.
Yeah.
But they did do pretty much every movie from those time periods. I'll put it this way: the movie,
Yeah, we did a review over it.
yeah, It's Abridgment is freaking hilarious.
Okay then. So it sounds like we have
you attacked
abridgment reviews
Wait,
and
That's Goku's kid. You kidnapped Goku's kid? Are you stupid?
oh my gosh.
I think I know what one of our Christmas episodes this week is going to be.
Crow. This is gonna be interesting.
Christmas Tree of Might.
Oh, Crow. Anyways, that's one of the shows I watched on YouTube.
Sorry.
No, it'd be like it's perfectly fine, Bailey. If it's something you absolutely love and love to quote, it's perfectly fine.
It's freaking hilarious. You've not even gotten to the fun parts with Guru yet.
Oh gosh.
Anyways,
so I watched that. What I feel like I wish I had calm down. Breathe, Jake.
breathe, Jake.
Breathe. That is all I've been watching. So what have you been watching?
Well, outside of Pinocchio, for obvious reasons,
Pinocchio.
something about Chris Pine.
Oh gosh.
But anyway, that's a stupid joke.
It's a stupid joke, but it's so funny.
Other than that, yeah, I've watched, of course, She-Hulk.
The
last episode, season 5.
I need episode 5. Oh, episode 5.
Episode 5. There's 9 episodes.
Oh,
round
okay.
out. I told somebody
Wow.
earlier today there were 6, and I later realized nope, there's only 5. But also watched Star Trek Lower Decks season 3, episode 3.
Yeah.
Since that does appear to be possibly, I have to say possibly now,
Okay.
one of the ones we're going to be doing on TAS, I can tell you we're in for a good time.
Okay.
But I have to say possibly because right now the poll is tied, folks.
It is.
5 votes to 5 votes between Star Trek Lower Decks season 2 and 3 and X-Men the animated series. If you have an opinion on what you want, go to the Cell Nation Facebook group.
Mhm.
You don't have to ask to come in. Just join us because hey, you should be joining us over there anyway.
Exactly.
That's our community right now. So go over there, join us. You'll see in the featured post, you should see the poll and vote for what you would prefer us to actually watch. Specifically, I would like for you to break the tie before Friday.
Yeah.
But if you really must vote for Neon Genesis Evangelion or poor Gravity Falls still doesn't have any votes.
Such a good show.
Such a good show.
Such
guys.
a good show, guys. Come on. Give it some love.
Go vote for whichever of these 4 you want us to watch. I will say though, if you know what, no, I'm not going to say that. If the poll is not broken, we have a contingency plan.
Okay.
But I'm not going to tell you what that is yet in case that causes people to go, oh, well, that's fine. We'll just not worry about it.
Yeah.
Let you stew on that. Of course, those of you who are listening in the future on the podcast feed, you're too late.
Yeah.
Because this poll is closing on Friday, the 20th? No, today's the 20th. What is Friday? The 23rd. Friday the 23rd.
Yeah.
Is when the poll is closing. So join us for whatever we're reviewing after Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure, because literally this episode, which is tying up a bunch of loose ends,
Mm-hmm.
and then the series finale next week.
Yeah.
And then we are going to be doing a new television show in 2 weeks, or a return to a television show we technically have already done season 1 of.
Yeah.
One way or the other. But other than that, now that I've done that spiel, I did go over to Chase the Sunday. I know you probably were tired and that's why you didn't show up. I didn't ask.
Yeah.
Had too much fun on your date. No, you were actually watching this movie because we were watching tonight, I think.
I think so, yeah.
You posted about it.
Yeah.
But I went over to Chase's house and he forced me
Oh no.
to watch a movie he wanted to show both of us. He said it was the first movie that came to his mind when we told him we were going to be reviewing bad movies. It is not animated.
What is it?
Rock and Roll High School Forever. It is a weird movie.
What format is?
it's an 80s kind of teen comedy. It's got
Yeah.
Corey Feldman in as the main
Oh,
character.
okay. That makes sense. The 80s.
And it's very much the man is getting us down, treating the school like it's a prison, and we're going to take over, and chaos ensues. It wasn't necessarily bad. It's just not what I think of for this sort of thing. I don't know. This is out. If I had seen this movie when I was younger, might have gotten into it. Unfortunately, I saw it when I was 35,
Okay.
so I don't understand what's going on.
So is it live action?
It's live action.
Okay.
It's a live action movie. Corey Feldman is playing the leader of this gang that is being unfairly singled out by the vice principal of discipline, who well, let's just say that you remember how last week when we were reviewing Food Fight, we mentioned that they were not exactly subtle about how evil Brand X was because they used Nazi imagery.
Yeah.
She used Nazi imagery.
Oh, fun. Well,
so yeah, that was not that subtle.
No.
And of course, she was hoisted by her own petard.
Because
she likes discipline.
Oh, crap.
Moving on.
Yes, moving on.
We're not going to get into that. So it was a weird. I would definitely not suggest kids watch this film.
Okay.
High schoolers, maybe, but that's about as far back in there I would go. Other than that, I've not really had a chance to watch much else because it has been a busy month.
It has.
Strangely enough. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Okay.
So Jacob, what do we got in the news?
The Cellcast News with your host Jacob Heron.
All right. Why? Thank you, Dealet. Now, I asked you a question, Drew.
Okay.
Have you heard of the anime movies? A Silent Voice. Have you heard of this?
I have heard of it. I've not watched it.
Okay. Right now it's available on Netflix. I've watched it. It's a really, really good movie.
You know, I think it's been on Netflix for a little bit.
It has. So apparently,
there's a lot of Netflix anime movies I need to watch.
True. So Iconic Events Releasing, a company specialized in distributing special engagement theater events, has announced that tickets are now on sale for nationwide screening of A Silent Voice, a 5th anniversary presentation in partnership with Anime Expo and Anime Distributor. Thank you. 11 Arts for the latest installment of its AX Cinema Nights, A Silent Voice 5th anniversary will be available for a limited engagement screening beginning on Wednesday, October 12th. Find participating theaters and reserve tickets at AX/Cinema.
Cinema Nights.
Yeah, cinemanights.com/A Silent Voice. If you're interested in that kind of thing.
Okay.
So if you want to watch a pretty good anime movie in theaters, that's where you need to go. Okay. Now, I have no idea if they're going to be a local where we are.
I haven't looked, and I'm not going to have time to go watch it myself. But
so that is the only thing I could really find news-wise.
Oh, that's the only thing you found.
That's the only thing I found. What did you find?
Because there was a teaser trailer released this morning for a cartoon heading to Netflix.
Really?
One we've known about was going to Netflix, but they did release a teaser trailer saying it's giving us a more concrete date. It's essentially, I think, November.
Okay.
Sonic Prime.
Oh yeah, I did see something.
I put that on the. I think I put that on the Facebook page.
You did.
Link the trailer. Also, I did find out that we do have a solid date for when season 2 of Spy Family is starting again,
Really?
which is 1st of October.
Hmm.
I think that had been out for a little bit, but I saw the trailer today. So
Nice. So that is all I have for info and stuff. Or
all right.
no, news, actually.
News.
Sorry, wrong
We have
segment.
not got to info and stuff yet.
We'll get there when we get there.
But so that we can get to info and stuff, that was a poor segue. Let's just jump into the spoiler-free section of our review for Titanic. The Legend Goes On.
Certified fresh and spoiler free.
Much like Food Fight, I had not seen this film prior to putting it on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I had only heard about it, once again, from seeing reviews from both JonTron and Nostalgia Critic
Mm-hmm.
mocking this film.
Yes.
All I really knew about it was ripping off James Cameron's Avatar, a
Tit-
couple other Disney. Oh, yeah.
Titanic.
Not Avatar. Boy, that would be a different movie.
That would be.
Actually, I think that might be what The Search for Titanic, the third Titanic movie, is closer to. But anyway, yeah, there's technically 3 of these animated Titanic movies, but the one we're reviewing today is not connected to the other 2. But I knew nothing about this film really before going into, other than, like I said, it was ripping off a bunch of different things, including Titanic,
Yeah.
Cinderella, 101 Dalmatians, a couple other things. And I knew that in about 15 minutes into the film, there was a rapping dog. This was all I knew about the film.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. If you are interested to see a bad movie and you don't want to feel like you just crawled out of a cesspool like Food Fight, you might enjoy this.
Maybe.
This would be the kind of thing to watch with like about 6 or 7 people,
Mm-hmm.
some of them drunk, with pizza and soft drinks, and just everyone making fun of the movie as it plays. It's that kind of film.
Yeah.
Really, Food Fight was too, but
You're more grossed out than anything.
yeah. You'd never be able to hear what was going on in Food Fight, so you'd never catch all the puns because there'd be too many people making fun of the animation the whole time.
Mhm.
This one, technically, we have good animation. It's better animation.
Yeah.
We will get onto that in a minute. It
Yes.
does look like is very cheap animation.
Very.
Very cheap animation, and they have a liberal use of reused shots. This movie is supposed to be for kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think kids would be bored by it for the most part. And it's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the things where the what I want to talk about
Yeah.
is spoilers.
Gotcha.
But I also don't know how spoilery you can be with a movie about the Titanic.
That is true.
We all know how the movie ends.
Okay.
I hope. I
okay.
really hope you all know how the movie's going to end.
So I have to tell the story. I have to tell the
Go
story really,
ahead.
really fast. So our friend Chase.
You're next anyway.
Yeah. So our friend Chase, who was on the Tron episode of
Yes.
ours. So go listen to that.
And is wanting to be on our Labyrinth episode when we get to it.
All right. So we are. So he's telling the story. Him and a friend, they're going to see Titanic back when it first came out in 1997, I believe.
I think.
I think it was 97. But so him and his friend are standing in line waiting on this movie, and apparently there was these young girls standing in front of them waiting in ticket line. So he starts talking about it's like, yeah, the boat sinks and it's tragic a little bit, and the girl whips around with the most serious face, like, thanks for spoiling the movie for a thing that happened in 1912.
Considering what goes on in this film, I'm afraid this is the feelings for a lot of people that this must not be, that this wasn't real. This is just some legend.
Yeah.
The way this film is made.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
Yeah. So this, like, Drew, like,
hang on just a second.
go ahead.
Paul J. Powers' Labyrinth is animated in the sense that it uses puppetry, and puppetry is allowed on the Cellcast.
Yes.
Sorry.
You're welcome.
Answering a question from our chat real quick. Continue.
So, like Drew before, this is the first time I've watched this film. I have heard rumors of this film.
Mostly from me.
Mostly from this guy. And I've heard of the rapping dog. And I was like, okay, so let's just be frank. You can't find this movie anywhere. Like,
You can actually buy the DVD, I have discovered.
okay,
But was unable to get it in time.
fair.
But it is one of those where it comes to you in like a slim case, and the DVD looks like they just burned it the other day, that sort of thing.
Oh, one of those situations.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I watched it somewhere. And oh my gosh.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing. It's definitely ripping off James Cameron's 1997 Titanic, one of the biggest movie blockbusters ever. And it does do some little things differently. Obviously, it's trying to jam in so many little things from, like, you know, Cinderella, just different, like Drew said earlier.
Cinderella, 101 Dalmatians, American Tail. Shoot, like the crow that stole the locket at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
I'm convinced they were ripping off the crow from Secret of NIMH there.
That's what I kept thinking.
And a couple other things. I mean, like the geese from the Aristocats are here for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And yeah, it's interesting. There's some parts of the animation I do enjoy for the most part. And then it's just like the story is all over the place. And yeah, it's something. So we will get into this movie proper, but if you're just interested and just going to have a laugh at a film or maybe cringe a little bit, be like, yeah, go watch it. I'm not going to tell you where to go watch it.
You can find it if you know where to look.
Exactly.
At the very least, look up Titanic Rapping Dog.
Yeah.
That by itself is worth watching.
That is true. But watching it fully in context is like,
doesn't help.
Doesn't
really
help
doesn't
at
help.
all.
You think it would, and it doesn't. And I know why. I know the reason why.
Yes.
But we will get to that when we get to the spoiler section.
Yes.
Which here is in just a minute. If you're ready to move to that,
go for it.
All right. So join us on the other side.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
This week, we suggest the Retro Rewind podcast. Every other week, join the Retro Rewind pod as they travel back 15 years or more along the entertainment space-time continuum in their mission to review movies and games, establishing what is still worth your time today and what isn't. Expect fun banter and trivial insights from Francisco, Paul, the Master Interrupter Powers, and a rotating cast of guest hosts, all of which are out of time.
The Cellcast would like to thank the following patrons: Josh Adams, Ashley Ruiz, Book of Gaming.
To get your name on the show, plus uncut episodes, early access to the Cellcast Plus reviews, and special art from Jacob, please donate to us on Patreon.
Since I fixed the audio to where it's not blowing us out every week,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually hard to know when that ends. I do want to add that Paul J. Powers is also a $1 patron on our show, but I have not had a chance to get his name added to me and Deedla haven't had a chance to get his name added to the list yet.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul.
Anyway, Paul is in our chat, by the way, as you'll probably figured it out.
Hi, Paul.
He did say, yay, free spoilers. And then asked if Labyrinth is animated. We consider puppetry a form of animation.
Mm-hmm.
Labyrinth is puppetry, therefore it is free game. But then way back near the beginning of the show, but after we started, Kennethans asked if we'd seen Titanic 2. He said it was awful. I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it is, but thank you.
Yes. I told him I had not.
Mm.
But anyway, that's pretty much what's going on in chat at the moment. You ready to dive in?
Yeah.
Deela, can you give me a mark, please? That was louder. I don't know why.
Mm.
Anyway, the following is a spoiler-filled review for the movie Titanic. The Legend Goes On.
You have to do that every time, don't you?
Yes. Listener discretion is advised. Titanic, The Legend Goes On, was written and directed by Camillo Tetti, who directed something called The Killer Is Still Among Us. It was also written by Bozina Intrater, Jim Magon, Jim Magon. If you can't figure it out, almost every single actor and person involved in this has almost nothing that we're going to recognize. Just fair warning.
Gotcha.
But I did try my best. Lisa Russo was the voice of Angelica, and she actually was a performer on the on the soundtrack for Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
She sang on the song God Help the Outcast.
Gotcha.
Mark Thompson played Ashworth. Mark Thompson Ashworth played William.
Mm-hmm.
And in something called Christmas Thieves, he played an old cop.
Ah, gotcha.
Gisela Matthews played Gertrude, and she played the Queen in the Three Musketeers in 1956 show.
Okay.
The show that came out in 1956 is what I mean.
Roger.
Silva Belton played Bernice, and this was her only credit. Bianca Alessandra Ara played Hortense, and she played the characters of Anna and Irma in something called Spaghetti Family.
Mm.
It was a TV show.
Yummy.
Veronica Wells played Coriantha, and she played someone named Mrs. Keyhole in something called Farhat, the Prince of the Desert.
Okay.
Jacques Staney played Gaston, and he had a bunch of bit parts in a bunch of Italian films.
Okay.
Clive Reich played Kirk, and he was Tyro in the HBO series Rome.
Okay.
Douglas Macon played Dirk. This was his only acting role.
Wow.
Mickey Knox played Sam, and he played a character named Matty Parisi in The Godfather Part 3. David Brandon played Stockard, and he was a character named Petrucci in a TV show called Medici. Once again, I'm assuming this is an Italian TV show.
Yeah.
Kenneth Belton played the captain, and he was only listed as an actor in the 1968 film Galileo.
Okay.
Pat Stark played Molly, and in something called Miami Golem, she played Dr. Janet Stein. Caroline Young, who played Maxie, this is her only acting role.
Okay.
Jill Tyler, who played Victoria, played Toffler in something called One Day at a Time. And this one was interesting. Gregory Snegoff, who played Fritz and Jeffrey.
Okay.
He played the character of Frog. I wrote that down wrong. Professor Kusakabe in the Trauma dub of My Neighbor Totoro.
Really?
Yeah, the first dub for that movie.
Interesting.
And Edmund Purdom played Jeremy McFlannel.
Yeah.
And he apparently played a character named Micah in The Prodigal, whatever that was.
Okay.
Now, Kingdom Hearts connections, I want you to guess how many I got.
Somewhere between 0 and 1.
I was really hoping you'd stick to 0 because I did have 1.
Thank you.
And I was surprised I had it. It only came up when I got to Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay.
But Rita Kednioglu, I apologize, Rita, for mispronouncing your last name. She was the music coordinator for the American version of this movie. She was also a dialogue editor for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Nice.
Which brings me to the end of our cast and crew. What do we got in info and stuff, if anything, is
All right.
on?
Well, I found a little bit.
Okay.
I found a little bit. All right. So this movie, IMDb has a 7.9 out of 10. If you can believe that.
Quit looking at Titanic by James Cameron.
Dadgummit.
I know better. Because your only other choice is The Legend of Titanic, the second animated Titanic movie.
All right, fine. Oh, fine. You want to spoil my fun. Okay. Okay, then. Okay, Captain. All right. So IMDb, yeah, it's a lot worse than 7 point. It's a 1.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I bet.
Watch it at your discretion. It was produced by Titanic Cartoon, SRL, and Roma. Distributed by Medusa Films. It was released in theaters on September 15th, the year 2000 in Italy.
That actually makes sense, because it's actually an Italian film.
It is an Italian film. Home release, the Canadian VHS, Ecuador, whatever.
He's trying to say Aquatar? That's a planet in the Power Rangers.
Yeah, I was saying that. I was like, wait, that's not the right movie. But it was under the title Titanic, the animated movie. The DVD has since gone out of print, though it has been re-released through Third Dimension distribution. And that is all the info stuff I have on this movie.
I'm surprised you were able to get that much.
Yeah, it was slim pickings.
Right. Anyway, getting into the summary for this. The story begins on White Star Line chartered boat train, which is carrying passengers to the RMS Titanic. A poor girl named Angelica, treated as a servant by her wicked stepmother and two stepsisters, dreams of finding both love and her missing mother, with only a blue locket as a clue to her mother's identity. At the same time, an upper-class Englishman named William boards with his maid, who laments the loss of her daughter. He didn't call her a maid, she was a nanny.
Nanny, exactly. Doesn't this sound familiar? But flipped.
Moving on. Who laments the loss of her daughter years ago, as well as his secretary, Gaston. There is a Beauty and the Beast reference in this. I forgot about it.
Oh, gosh. Yes. His name is Gaston.
Other passengers include the gold-digging Winnie, a failing banker named Jeremy McFlannel, a jewel thief named Corinthia Meanstreak, her two henchmen, Kirk and Dirk, a detective named Sam Bradbury, who has been sent to pursue them, and Molly, a gorgeous singer. After boarding in the cargo hold are a group of animals, including a family of Yiddish mice, some geese, a rapping dog named Fritz, who sings a song called Party Time.
Oh my god.
A magpie named Hector, and a band of Mexican mice. Throughout the voyage, the various passengers meet and interact. William and Angelica fall in love at first sight, while Winnie and Jeremy fall for each other after Winnie's dog Flopsy trips him. Meanwhile, Gaston attempts to woo Molly with Angelica's locket, which he found after she unknowingly dropped it. Sam goes undercover to find Corinthia, while Kirk and Dirk make several unsuccessful attempts to steal jewelry from Winnie, but are foiled by her dog. The film reaches its climax at a reception held in honor of the passengers. Angelica is able to attend after William after her cabin mate Victoria loans her a suitable dress. Meanwhile, the Yiddish mouse Maxie discovers that Angelica is missing her locket and recruits the other animals to help search for it, finding it in time for her to wear it to the reception. Upon seeing the locket worn by Angelica and hearing the correct implication from one of the ship's officers that it was stolen when she received it, Molly slaps Gaston and leaves him, while Gertrude, Bernice, and Hortense attempt to break up Angelica and William. Maxie scares them off. Kirk and Dirk manage to successfully steal a pearl choker from Winnie, but learns that it is fake, as Winnie is not rich and uses fake jewelry to infatuate wealthy men. The Titanic hits an iceberg.
Surprise, surprise,
surprise
to no one.
And begins to sink as the passengers rush for lifeboats. Angelica, Victoria, and Victoria's grandchildren manage to avoid her stepfamily, who have boarded a lifeboat. Also, They were in third class.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened to the passengers in third class? On the
Yes, I'm
Titanic?
fully aware.
They did not get to the lifeboats. They drowned in the bottom of that boat.
Well, some of them did. Some of them did.
A lot of them did.
Well,
because
yeah,
they
I
did
agree.
close them because the rich people got to get off first.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Let be like I for me, like I'm a huge be like one of like when I was growing up, be like Titanic was the big thing for me. So I did a lot of research for this, and there's a lot of misinformation. But yeah, there were some doors that were locked.
right.
Not all of them, but some.
All of the animals escape on floating crates, including the ship's cook, in the process, and being led to safety by dolphins. Winnie chooses to stay behind with Jeremy, who reveals to her that he is not the rich man she thought he was. He was on his way to America to be bailed out after his bank failed. Despite learning this, Winnie still loves him, and they remain on the ship to die together. Molly also chooses to remain behind on the ship, singing with the band, the same 3 lines every 5 seconds because they only had 2 seconds of animation with her in that shot. And dies along with them. William grabs a small child to protect them as he falls overboard with the ship, breaks in half, and sinks beneath the ocean. He puts the child safely in a nearby boat, but his foot is trapped in a rope from the ship's stern, and he is dragged down with the ship, apparently dying. On one of the lifeboats, Angelica discovers that William's maid is actually her mother, and the two are reunited. They come across Sam in the water and pull him on board. William surfaces, having freed himself from the rope and staying alive underwater. Somehow, alongside the boat, and is reunited with Angelica. An epilogue reveals that the two were married and lived happily ever after. That Detective Sam Bradbury put Corinthia behind bars. Kirk and Dirk married Angelica's stepsisters, and Gaston married a wealthy socialite hoping to live off her money, but ended up in charge of her home's household chores. No one cleans like Gaston. No one. I don't know. I had a good
Buffs like
start.
Gaston or something.
Buffs like Gaston. No one folds lingerie just quite like Gaston. Getting into the trivia for this, and there's not much.
Yeah.
There are 2 American versions of this film.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Done with the same cast,
Mhm.
an uncut dub and a drastically cut and re-edited dub. It features a completely different plot, songs, and dialogue. Entire scenes were edited in different sequences, and others have been removed, reused, or placed before other scenes. Additional dialogue and various one-liners were added into originally silent scenes, along with new music scores and wacky cartoon sound effects. While the uncut version is 82 minutes long, this version, which is the version we watched, was shortened to 70 minutes, plus 12 minutes of credits showing some of the deleted scenes. The version we watched starts in media res with the Titanic sinking, tells the rest of the story in flashbacks, and does not give any explanation for why Angelica has been abandoned by her parents. It also featured a different musical score by Matt McGuire and 3 new songs, being Holding Me, Mucho Gusto, and Party Time.
Cha 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 cha.
That brings us to the end of info and the trivia.
Yes.
I'm just lost now. What is your first like for this film?
Oh my gosh. Do I have one?
You had some for Food Fight.
Yes, I do. Yes,
so you
I
have
do.
to have something here.
Yes, I do. There are some parts of the animation that are really well done. It's just like watching this mess of animation that is so. Yeah, let's be positive about this film. There portions in this animation, it's done well. I'm sitting there watching this movie, and it's like, man, I'm actually impressed. They actually put some effort behind some of these scenes. Some of them. I'm not saying all. Some. There are some animation points where it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm shocked. That's actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just real reused, rehashed, recut, reflipped everything. It'd be like
this was a small part of the film you're talking about because there's a lot of reused animation in this film.
But like small little parts of this movie, I'm just like the animation it's a little gem inside of a turd of a very large turd it's right there. You can see it. It's just like, wow, it's really good, surrounded by all of the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's got some really nice animated gems hidden within the crud.
Okay.
What's your first like?
My first like is the rapping dog.
Oh gosh.
Because see, here's the thing. I may have flown around the bend by this point. I don't know. But the movie was really dragging until I realized, oh, I know what scene we're in. Well, long before I heard the great line, if it hadn't been for you, I would be in someone else's digestion.
Oh my gosh.
And then you get the rapping dog showing up. It's like, I should hate this. This makes no bloody sense. But yet, this is interesting.
Yeah.
And for any, I think I've talked about this in Bad Movie Month already once before. But my belief is if you can't be good, be interesting.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing you can be is dull. And that was really last week's problem.
Mm-hmm.
Is that movie for the most part was dull. This is interesting.
It is.
It has interesting parts. Now, granted, a lot of this parts is what on earth are you people thinking? But it was interesting. And the rapping dog is really the pinnacle of that thought process because it's the first time something comes right the smack out of nowhere. And it tells you this is what you're in for.
Mm-hmm.
You should not be trying to take this movie seriously.
Yeah.
Because every part up to this point, the movie is saying, please take us seriously. Please take us seriously. I mean, we start off with the sinking of the Titanic.
Yes.
And then we go into, the scene of setting up Angelica's story and then William's story.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a couple other little small things. And there's like, okay. And it's setting up it's not really serious, but it's like if they were trying to actually write a good story.
Yeah.
This is the plot line you're supposed to be following. And then the minute we hear about the child mouse, the Fievel knockoff, being part of someone else's digestion, and the dog starts his thing, it's like, let me tell you something you should know. I can't remember the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, what just happened? And then all of a sudden you realize, hang on, some of this animation is new.
Yeah.
Newer than the rest of the film. Why is he now in New York? First off, this movie is takes place in 1912. How do I know this? That's when the Titanic sank.
Yeah.
Rap, to my knowledge, did not get invented until like the 50s, I think. 50s, 60s, 70s?
Something like that.
I don't know exactly, but long after this.
Roughly like the mid 70s. Mid 70s started to come into its own.
Yeah. And to some degree, it makes an odd sort of sense, but only because my brain is disengaged from something. It was weird. It's like, well, this is at least interesting. Let's see where they go from this. And it's about this time where you think some of the other moments I'm going to bring up in the second, like, you go from being, that seems cheap and like you're trying to go for a quick buck, to let's play the game. Who can spot the new next rip off? But more on that in a minute. What's your second like? My second like,
you kind of brought it up. Be like, it's an interesting story. It's not a boring story.
No,
like
at no point was I bored in this film.
No, it gave you something to kind of latch on to. It may have not looked good or animation wise very good, or like, what in the world's going on with this editing? But it gave you something to cling on to. So thus it gave it interesting point. Even though there's points, it's like, what in the world's going on? It was still interesting.
Yes.
It was an interesting film.
Boy, can you tell this version was cobbled together.
Yes. Very, very, very much.
I don't want to see the uncut version because I'm afraid it would take all the interesting bits out of this movie.
Oh my gosh. But yes, the movie is interesting. It does hold your attention in some ways and others.
Yeah.
But it does hold your attention. Be like, if a kid watched it, be like, ooh, this is fun. And adults like, what the fudge is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my second like. What's your second like?
As I was saying at the end of my first like, this movie becomes a game. spot the next ripoff of some other popular franchise.
Mhm.
First off, the whole thing is a ripoff of James Cameron's Titanic.
Mhm.
Secondly, Angelica is a ripoff of Cinderella, but is also simultaneously a ripoff of Anastasia.
Very,
Because
very.
her character design is Anastasia, or heavily inspired by Anastasia,
Yeah.
but her story is heavily inspired by Cinderella, including her ugly stepsisters, who I'm convinced they actually just stole the character models of from Cinderella.
Yeah.
At least one of them
True.
looks like one of the sisters.
Agreed. Does.
From that movie. Then you get, of course, the mice that are the mouse family. That they're not the family from An American Tale. They don't look like that family.
Yeah.
But you can't look at it and not go, there are no cats in America, but
Yeah,
unfortunately
right.
we're gonna hit an iceberg. Because it's like, because I mean the kid acts like Fievel.
He does.
Throughout the
in
entire
some
film.
ways, yes.
I would say his parents act like Mama and Papa, except they never speak.
That is, well, I think,
Except for one or two lines like,
yeah.
hurry up, whatever your name is. Fievel. Sorry, his name is now Fievel. Because I don't know his actual name. I think it was Maxie, but I'm calling him Fievel now. That's like, okay, so we have we have Cinderella, Anastasia, Titanic, of course.
Mhm.
We've got An American Tale. We've got The Crow from Secret of Nim.
Yes.
We've got the villain, basically the villain and the dogs and the Dalmatians. The villain and her henchmen and the two Dalmatians from 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah.
The Dalmatians make it off the boat, people. I do not advocate for the death of dogs. And if you can get the dogs off the Titanic while the captain was also able to get off the Titanic, if that were possible, you know what? I'm all for it. But those dogs would not have been let on those lifeboats, people. I'm sorry, that just threw me every time I kept seeing it.
Right.
From the
right.
very beginning of the film, when the Dalmatian sheds
A
one
tear.
single tear, I'm going, how'd you get off the boat?
You're a dog.
They shouldn't have let you off the boat.
And here's they were down in the storage dig,
Yes,
the storage compartment.
saving Bat Dog. And,
Yeah.
well, not Bat Dog. The dog that everyone thinks might actually be a bat. And the fat cat, who
Yeah.
were locked in a cage for half this film because they tried to eat Fievel knockoff
Off.
and were causing troubles all over the boat.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's also Sherlock Holmes,
Yes, Sherlock
On
Holmes.
the boat?
Yes.
except he really felt more like Inspector Clouseau,
Yeah, he did.
if we're being honest.
That's true.
You've got the whole thing is wacky.
Yeah, just a bit.
And, you know, it wouldn't be funny if it was about anything else but the Titanic sinking. That just puts a weird, dark humor edge to what is essentially a cheap movie.
Yeah, agreed.
It's about the Titanic sinking. All these people you have to feel sad for all of them at the very end because they're the survivors of the Titanic. And even when you get to the end, the humor does not stop with the sinking, because they go and they find they think we're going to find William because he's laying right there on the
Gosh.
strap.
Yeah.
And they pick him up, and it's the Sherlock Holmes knockoff. And for a quick second, they realize it's not him. You think, are you not going to let him on the boat? Is it because he's not William? You're going to let him sink into the briny depths? Because there's a hot minute
They
where
are.
you're sitting there going, yes, it's not him, but the man deserves to live. Just because he happens to look like William from the back does not mean he didn't deserve to live.
Even the ghost character model didn't even look like William from the back. Really skinny, scrawny little guy.
Yes. It
But
was
the
the
thing,
only-
he looks like
and the-
William.
And the thing was, we never saw that character from the back before that shot.
No, we hadn't.
And they show that it's like, oh, it's that guy. Are we not going to save William? That's not how this film works. That's not how any of this film works. Because we know what's going to happen. We know it's got to have somehow the tragedy of the Titanic blooming over it. We have to have a happy ending.
Yes.
And we have a happy ending. It's like we shouldn't, because they find William, and unlike Titanic, where they couldn't get him up on that, we couldn't get Leonardo DiCaprio up on that door.
Move your butt over, Rose.
Yes, he gets pulled up onto the boat. Oh, and also the what's her name?
Angelica?
No, the thief, the head thief. The Cruella de Vil knockoff.
Yeah.
She tries to steal from,
from
the lady. The lady, no, it wasn't the lady with the fake jewelry. I don't remember how it was. It was the other rich lady.
Yeah.
The woman's distracted, so she's reaching her hand in there, and something happens, and the lady sits back down right on her hand. I'm going, the Titanic is sinking, and you are making jokes. Granted, kudos for getting your karma back there. Lady.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous film. And it's one of those things where it feels like I said, if this was not about the Titanic, if this was about anything else, this would just be a odd, cheap movie that we wouldn't think about.
Yeah. Except
you throw in the Titanic, and it's like, this is obviously a cheap excuse to make money off the Titanic phenomenon that was going on at the time.
Yeah.
I get that. But this is a weird way to go about it, especially since they made it look like everyone got off the boat, even though some people we never saw on the lifeboats.
Yeah. Well, it does mention that the singer Molly didn't get off.
Well, of course not. She was stuck on repeats. That's the thing.
But her dogs got saved.
Her dogs got saved. Yes. There's always the story about the famous story on the Titanic where the musicians who have been playing, played on the boat to help calm the passengers as the ship sank.
Yeah.
They modified that slightly by having the lead singer who's singing the knockoff song
My Heart Will Go On.
Singing the knockoff song for this.
Yeah.
They had her stay with them and sing the end. But the only song they have of her singing is the Heart Will Go On song. So they repeat this song over and over again. But the thing is, it's not like you listen to it and you think, okay, enough time has passed that she should be back on this line.
Yeah. Hold Me. That's song called.
They only had 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Of her animated with this group. With the group.
And they just reuse it.
And they reuse it. And every time she comes up, she goes, hold me. 3 seconds later, hold me. The song doesn't repeat this fast. And it gets to the point where you start feeling the rhythm of the scene. It's like, and there's the band, hold me. It's like, and she's doing the same movements at the same time. It's like, because at this point is when they're reusing a lot of animation.
They are
because the original film, I'm guessing the uncut version, did not spend a lot of time here.
No,
they had a couple of quick scenes, but they decided they wanted to make this longer for the new cut that we watched.
The new cut.
I don't know what you call this. And so they repeated stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
The iceberg hit the side of that ship 7 times, according to that animation.
Oh my gosh.
But and the thing is, it's you can tell their thought process is,
yeah.
Okay, there's the front, and we just move over to the next one and move over to the next one. It just happens to be animated the same way. Why would we animate anything extra? We'll just show the same scene over again to give you the feeling that we're moving back down the ship as the iceberg is breaking into it. It's like, and the second you see, it's like, you just repeated the 15 frames of animation 5 times in a row. Surely they'll never come back to this. 5 minutes later, there it is again for 2 more shots. What? And this time it's not the iceberg hitting it that this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be the ship cracking up down the center.
Yep, pretty much.
It's like,
Oh my gosh.
And it's not just limited to the stuff that's obviously the old animation,
Mm-hmm.
because there are 3 songs
Yeah.
in this film.
Yes.
Hold Me, Mucho Gusto,
Yeah.
and Party Time.
yeah.
Party Time uses the same shot of the camera zooming in on the dog's eyes. I'm not kidding you. I rewound and counted 15 times. of
Really.
this, it's like, why? Mucho Gusto also reused scenes from Party Time, and it did things, and of course from itself, because it was like 5 minutes made with 2 minutes of film. And I looked it up. Do you know what Mucho Gusto means?
Not exactly.
Not what they make it sound like it means.
No,
I
what-
looked it up. I don't remember now, but I remember reading it going, that doesn't make sense. It's like with pleasure or with flair or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not, because the lyrics are, when you're feeling mucho gusto, you know what you can do, sto. Put on your dancing shoe-stos and something mucho gusto. It's like,
It's not.
A, not good Spanish. B, that's not even coherent English.
What mucho gusto means is pleased to meet
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
But they never, in that sense, they never say mucho gusto in a spot where it makes sense, or it's pleased to meet you. It's, you'll be partying with mucho gusto. It's like, huh?
It's like someone didn't know what Spanish was and just heard the phrase
Yes.
and just made a song out of it.
They had these 3 Mexican mice.
Yeah.
That were a band. It makes sense. They would be playing songs at the animals' party. And so they had to play a Mexican song.
Oh my god.
Okay. The Hold Me makes sense, because
Yes.
that character is obviously supposed to be, is it Christina Aguilera that sang that song
Which song?
on Titanic?
No, Celine Dion.
Celine Dion. Why did I get that confused? Anyway, they can't do this without referencing
Of course.
having the big love ballad.
Yeah.
But they didn't have a place to put it in the film, so they had her sing it during the dance. And as the Titanic went down,
Yeah,
because they had no other
jeez.
songs for her to sing.
Just have a violin, as like I said, violins playing. That's it. All you needed.
This movie came out in what, 2000 as our release?
2000.
So yeah, they had no time to. They didn't have auto tune, so they couldn't have taken weird lines she said earlier and make that sound like it would work. But
Yeah.
oh,
Is this still your second like?
this is still my second line. It all sounds like I hate everything.
Yes.
But the thing is, I enjoyed every second of this, because it was like, what ridiculous, stupid thing are you about to do next?
True.
And it came that moment. Like I said, the minute you hear, if I hadn't been for you, I would be caught in someone else's digestion. The minute that line plays, it becomes, welcome to the show, because this is where the movie is. Let's show every stupid, singular, unrealistic, ridiculous thing we could possibly throw in this film,
Yeah.
because we are no longer doing a serious story. We started that way. It didn't make it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
What's your third like?
My third like would actually be it's the Locket.
Mm.
The Locket story, because they actually do that fairly well, because the Locket does get passed around a little bit. Angelica, that's her name.
Angelica.
Our main protagonist. I want to call her antagonist, but she's not an antagonist. She's a
No.
protagonist.
No, there's 5 antagonists in this
That is
film.
there is. That's true. There's a lot of
And that's
villains.
counting the iceberg.
You're counting the iceberg.
It certainly brought everything to a halt.
That's true. Ouch. Too soon.
100 years is too soon.
No, quoting
110 years, actually.
True. No, but the course of this, locket, not a necklace,
But a locket.
but a locket. I do like it's tracking through because they do keep they keep revisiting this thing over and over and over again, like it's a main plot point.
Mm-hmm.
And for some points, it is a plot point of the story.
Yes.
And I'll get to dislikes on that later. But I there are points where it's the where the stepsisters realize it's Angelica when she's got the dress on.
Yes.
Uh,
Mother, make her sew it up or whatever.
yeah, be like, take it off. Be like, make her stop doing, stop making her be happy or something like that. And,
She can't be happy. She has to sew up all our clothes.
or the
Pick all that. Pick that jar up I just broke on the ground.
yeah, coffee cup.
Whatever.
That was actually animated fairly well. I have to admit that was pretty good. But
One of the little things.
One of the little things. But the Locket story was fairly good. I will get into dislikes later.
Yes.
All right, so that is my third.
My third like is the animation on the breakup of the Titanic from
Yeah.
the sinking. Now, granted, I've talked about some little things
Mm-hmm.
that are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they repeated the same animation 5 times of the inside of the inside of the ship was the iceberg.
Oh
is ripping it
gosh,
down.
yes.
I've mentioned that, but for the most part, anytime they show the boat, sinking, it actually looks like, at the very least, they looked at they copied the James Cameron Avatar, the shots from James Cameron's Titanic, or because there were some great shots in there. I thought, like the shot there where the bow of I think it's the bow, it might have been the stern. It had to be the stern because that was what was sticking up in the air. But the stern of the ship coming down, and you see the words Titanic, Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, this is actually animated. These shots of the ship sinking
Yeah,
are obviously where they sunk their money,
yeah,
because this is where a lot of the good animation is.
yeah.
And I appreciate how well they handled the breakup of the ship. They kept
Agreed.
it as accurate as I think they could have.
Yeah.
That's my third like.
Okay.
What's your first dislike?
Ooh. Let me get to my dislikes. Come on now. All right. Come on. Move. Thank you.
Thank you.
To put him up, confusing as Hades storyline. What in the world is going on with this story?
What's going on is they have too many characters.
There are too many characters going on in this movie. I mean, like, even on top of that, the editing in this movie is horrendous.
I'm going to be honest. All that I abbreviated this cast list because the cast list was long because of how many people were in this thing.
Yeah.
I left out what I think were major characters.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it's like I had to put a stop to it at some point.
Yeah. But oh my gosh, be like the story plots go everywhere. Be like, and then some scenes be like, it's so roughly edited. You're like you're sitting there, the two bumbling burglars break into this one lady's house, which, mind you, was a
cabin.
Breaks into her cabin, and granted, it doesn't even look like a cabin in the Titanic. Not really.
A rich person's cabin.
No,
maybe.
it doesn't.
It was a hotel room on a ship.
Yeah, let's just say that.
Which, considering some of the cabins I've been in, I'll go with it.
Yeah, but nuance. Be like, how this movie is edited is ridiculous. I don't know if it's just our edit, the edit.
I think a lot of it is our edit because you can tell somebody else you can tell it's been re-edited from its original cut.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, but just like the story is all over the place. You know, like besides the editing, because this is what we're watching as a re-edit, and I'd be interesting to see what the original was.
I'm not.
Just generally curious. Curiosity for pulling a tooth sake.
Right.
But the story itself is all over the place because you're getting with the pets, you're getting with the evil stepmother and Angela, her story, you're getting William and his nanny, which this guy's like probably like 19, 18 years old. He has a nanny. I understand be like with someone who's watching over him. That's one thing, but you call her a nanny?
I'm guessing. Okay, from what this thing called her a maid.
Yeah.
In the synopsis.
Yeah.
I really took it more as when I was watching it. After she had to give up Angelica for
Yeah.
whatever reason. We're never
Yeah.
told.
No, we're not.
At some later point, she took in this William to raise him,
Yeah. Or
and
yeah.
instead of having her call her a mommy or something, they opted for nanny instead, since they weren't blood related.
Possibly.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Or the other argument could be is that she's a nanny, like has helped raise him as a nanny.
Maybe, I don't know.
But
It's
that's the only logical explanation I can find, because they don't tell you anything in this movie.
Absolutely, they don't have time to.
No,
The
don't show
only
the rapping dog.
Yep. Rapping dog and Mexican rats.
Mexican rats.
That's where all the time went.
Pretty much, and like the shenanigans of all the talking pets and the pet story, and like this story is so all over the place, and it's just like, what in the world is going on? I mean, like, you can somewhat track what's going on, but it's just bounce here, bounce here, bounce here, bounce here, bounce here, bounce, bounce, bounce. It's all over the place, and it drove me. I'm like, what? I'm tracking where you're going, but this is still crazy.
It's still, oh, what characters are in the scene? Oh, this is what plot line we're on for the next 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And the scene's over, and we're over here following this other plot line for another 5 seconds. And then we're over here for another 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And
Cut
all
here,
of a sudden,
cut there.
and all of a sudden, the rapping dog is telling the Dalmatians, hey, keep an eye out for some weird-looking guys. Well, I say weird-looking guys. One of them's a cat, and the other one technically is a dog, but I think he's more of a bat. And then all of a sudden, the basset hound the gold digger lady says, I heard what you said. You know, he sounds like Sam Elliott.
Yeah,
he does.
I
heard what you said. I'm all in for it, but at the moment, I gotta help my woman here bag a rich man, so we won't go into the poorhouse. I'm thinking, you're on the Titanic. How poor are you? You're in first class.
Yeah, that never made any sense. I was like, really? Be like, you're a first class passenger. You paid a butt ton of money to be on this ship, and you're saying to yourself, you're poor? Exactly.
You must have spent all of your money to get this cabin and are now going to be in the poorhouse in New York.
Yeah, that's about it.
Anyway.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's the story is all over the place. It is pulling you left and right with, like, every 5 seconds it changes the plot, or it changes where it's going in the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, can we stay with the character for 2 seconds and not get these terrible dissolves where, like, they're cut off half sentence? It's like, what?
They're cut off half sentence because the sentence went on longer in the original version.
Apparently.
And it's like, oh, we got what we need to send this scene. We need to move on to another scene and wait till she gets to the period. Close enough. Yoink.
I think we are watching the edited version.
Well, we are. The minute I saw, oh, the edited version is the one with party time. It's like, oh, yeah, we are. This is the edit.
Oh my gosh.
This is the weird edit.
This is the weird edit.
I'm fine with that.
Oh my gosh. So what is your versus like?
This movie, for the most part, is animated like a Philips CDI game.
Oh my, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Go back, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google Hotel Mario on Philips CDI or the Zelda CDI games and look at that weirdness. That is technically worse. Technically. But if you look at the actual animation style and the art style, it is that. It is animated just like that. Half the time they are looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to be talking to somebody who's facing the same direction. You're almost looking through their eyes, but they're looking at you like this animation was not actually intended to be part of a movie. It was intended to be part of a game. So when the guy that the gold digger hits on for a long time at the very beginning of the movie, and he looks right down the camera at you, the watcher, and says, I hope we're in for a peaceful crossing. It's like, what are you trying to tell me? Actually, you know what this is more like? The humongous entertainment games like oh what is the name? That's like Pajama Sam.
Okay.
Or you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Look that stuff up. That's one of those things where there is technically a game,
Yeah.
but they include so much other stuff for the kids with ADD
Oh, okay.
that they,
Fair.
no matter what they click on, something happens.
Oh, fair.
And
Fair.
so it's very easy to get distracted by chaos incarnate, if we're getting right down to it.
Fair.
But it's animated like a cheap PC or Philips CDI game.
Agreed.
A large portions of it. I'm not saying there's not parts of it that look good. We've talked about a lot of those moments,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also a lot of moments where it's like we don't have it. We got to go about this as cheap as possible,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's what they did because it's not an important scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a scene that happens to happen, and we don't have any money to put in it to it. So that's why they're gonna move weird.
Yeah,
Many-
agreed.
Like the very beginning of the film,
Mhm.
where they're on the train, and the first line of the film
Mm.
is the evil stepmother saying, "Put that locket away. You're never gonna find your precious mother." And then the two evil stepsisters go, "Yep, yeah, your precious mother." First off, I'm like, huh? Why are you talking like that? That's not really even a good put down.
No, it's not.
It's weird. But you look at the way they're moving as they're saying, "Your precious mother." It's like, holy crap, Pinocchio looks less wooden.
You're right. You
And
were
I
so
don't
right.
mean the animated movie. I mean the live action. The live action, I should say.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
there's just there were times it's like, why was this was on a theater screen?
Yeah.
Why?
In
Why
Italy.
was this on a theater screen unless Riff Tracks was making fun of it? Which they should. They should definitely. But
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
not that I think they would have time to insert jokes the way that these edits are.
Right.
But anyway, what's your next dislike? Second dislike.
Second dislike. I'm gonna go for the jugular here. We're dealing with one of the worst maritime disasters of
Mhm.
all time.
Yes.
Titanic was criticized because it was doing a love story around this tragic event, but Cameron and the people behind it had so much reverence behind it
Mhm.
that they weren't going to make jokes about it. This movie has no reverence for this tragedy, and
This has more reference than some things
yeah, that is true.
for
It's
this tragedy.
yeah, it's
I'm talking about another movie we may have to do next Bad Movie Month.
oh crap. Oh boy, but I'm sitting
All
there.
I'm going to say is Talking Sharks.
Oh
A
crap.
gang of talking sharks.
Oh crap.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. All right. So yeah, like the scene you described perfectly is the boat is sinking.
Mhm.
The boat is sinking. This is supposed to be a sad moment, and we're getting just stupid jokes in the middle. Like, granted, it's a kids movie. I totally get it, and I think the nostalgia critic did it very well with this idea. It's like, okay, you can play your little jokes, or the fact to be like, towards the end, we get a happy ending where everybody else,
Mhm.
and they don't acknowledge at some point over 1,000 people lost their lives in this movie,
Yes.
in this actual event that happened.
Because they actually
And
did
it's just like, what are you thinking?
it's like, oh, we don't want to leave kids on a sour note because we just had the biggest tragedy put to screen in animated form.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, don't go. Don't you want to? It's like they know everyone's running out of the theater. at
Yeah.
this point.
Run.
Says, don't you want to know what happened to the rest of us? And you see, and of course, they didn't animate this because they didn't have any animation budget left.
No, they didn't.
And they're showing all these little quick montages of what happened to all the other people. And they go, and they all lived happily ever after. See you next week. I go, half the people who are on, all but like 10% of the people on this boat only get a happy ending because they survived.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people just died in an animated film.
Yeah. And there's no acknowledgement of it.
None at all.
And be like,
because it's a kids movie. Kids don't die in kids movies.
yeah.
They may get destroyed, but they don't get killed.
but at least acknowledge the historical moment where a lot of people lost their lives, and make that more
No.
like it's a point in the movie
At the
that
very-
we're sad about it, not just the dogs tearing up or
At the very least, say this was an event that actually happened. A lot of people died, and yes, it's sad, but we really hope that the people who survived had happy endings.
yeah, exactly.
That would have been fine. That's all you needed to end this.
Exactly.
Put it in perspective for the kids. Like, yes, we had some fun in this film. We were a little bit wacky, a little bit crazy. We had a little bit of fun, but this was a real tragedy. A lot
Yes.
of people died. We know y'all don't have the maturity to deal with that at your age, but we do pray that the people who did survive. We do pray they had a happy ending.
Yeah,
And
something like that.
because of that, we'll see the happy ending for our characters.
Yeah,
And then you do your stupid little montage.
yeah,
But
new.
why would they do that?
Yeah, why would they do that? Why would they would use this monumental take part in history that changed, cruise line forever,
Yeah.
and be like, to take the
Oh.
simple fact of be like, over 1,000 people died during that night, during that morning, and you don't acknowledge it at all. You just want your stupid happy ending.
I so want to bring up something in another movie, but I can't because that would spoil the experience in the other movie.
All right.
I'm just saying, it gets worse in other films.
Frack.
The reverence this film has, because it has some,
Some,
not a lot,
some,
but it has some.
very little.
It's lost in Titanic, the Legend of Titanic.
Oh my gosh. People be like, you just want money, you don't respect of history.
Anyway,
Yes, exactly. My history nerd comes out of me every once in a while.
Mhm.
So that is my second dislike. Respect history, people. And don't destroy it.
right.
What is your second dislike?
Put some more work into your movie and quit reusing animation every 5 seconds.
Amen to that, brother.
Good
Amen.
night. If you had taken out all the reused animation in this film, it would be only 45 minutes. And a lot of that is in the sinking of the Titanic section.
Oh my gosh.
Because obviously the uncut version of this film did not have a lot of footage here, but they had to put in some more stuff to pad it out because they couldn't let the movie be 45 minutes long. It had to be at least an hour because it's not a movie.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, train, I agree with you. Yes, the trains that pass by our characters in our show now. But I'm sorry. I'm going crazy. Granted, Transformers the movie has moments of reused animation.
Yes.
Every movie we've reviewed
In some capacity,
has
yes.
some form of recycled animation. Heck, we've watched Robin Hood, movie
Yeah.
we both enjoyed.
Yeah.
But even we will note where they reused animation from other movies for that movie. It's not as blatant as this, because I mean they are using the actual models from the movie they're making
Mhm.
based off the animation movements of the movies from before.
Yeah.
But this one just goes off the blinking wall
It does.
because you see the same 30 frames, not even 30 frames half the time. You see, because it's the movie is made at 30 frames per second because this was definitely animated on twos.
Yeah.
But they half the time don't even let it play that fast. And you see the same stuff over and over and over and over again. It's like, what? And a lot of it's in the animal stuff because I'm guessing maybe the animals didn't actually talk in the original one,
Maybe.
and then they had some stuff where maybe they did, because obviously the stuff with the mice had to have some talking scenes as much as he's on screen,
Yeah.
as much as he keeps talking, and the stuff with the cat and the bat who's supposed to be a dog.
My gosh. Yeah.
But at the same time, it feels like that was not a important part of the story. It was just like a weird thing.
Yeah.
But in this re-edit, they wanted to make it more, so they had to reuse stuff.
Mhm.
And even with the stuff they obviously made new animation for,
Yeah.
they didn't make a whole lot of it, so it gets repeated over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's like, If I have to see the same wall of the Titanic burst forth with water flowing in again 5 times in a row, it's the same shots. And it's like there's not like something in between to make me feel like this. It's not even this thing. It doesn't even feel impactful because they play this. Hey, you can tell those shots are sped up for one thing. Then they do it 5 times in a row, so it feels even less impactful than if it was like a big hit and then another, and then like maybe they show like the boat shaking and then another hit down there. They'd have done something like that, I could maybe accept that reuse of animation a little bit better.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like the ships being ripped apart, and then the same wall again, and then again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. I know this is a cheap movie. Quit trying to make it look cheaper than it is.
Agreed.
What's your next dislike?
My third and final dislike. Oh my gosh, the animation. Like you just said, it to what I said about it. It's so much reused animation. I want to barf. It is ridiculous how many times they reuse animation over and over and over again. And the character facial expressions. Oh my gosh. It's not as bad as Food Fight. I'm not going to go there, but oh my word.
I will give Food Fight this much.
Yeah.
They at least tried to reanimate everything.
Yeah.
When they lost their footage.
Yeah.
There is not there is some reused footage in there.
Yeah.
But the way they handled it, it didn't feel as blatant.
Exactly.
It's probably the only thing that Food Fight has over this film. Because in this film, it's like, I know I saw this scene and I just saw that scene again.
Yeah.
You don't, before you have time to realize that they reused the scene, they've reused it a second time.
Yeah. Or they flipped it or something.
Right.
It's like the thing that keeps reminding me over and over again is like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the original show.
Yeah.
You know, back in the 80s, because they reuse animation a lot. They rotoscoped a lot, but they reuse animation over and over. This takes that to the extreme.
This is literally copy paste
on almost every other scene.
They had the scene in their digital editor and decided, you know what, this shot of the iceberg tearing into the Titanic, it's not long enough. We should do this 4 more times.
Yeah,
one right after the other. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to move the rest of the film over here, and I'm going to hit Control C to the right, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, and then move that back over. There we go. Scene's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch stuff before you release it, folks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Says the pot to the kettle.
Yeah. True. True. But oh my gosh. Like I said in my likes, be like, there are certain scenes in this movie that's done very well. Like some of the animation is like, wow, I'm shocked. And the next scene is like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. You can tell they don't have a budget, or they have a very small budget. And
did a micro budget.
Did they use it on the model for the Titanic?
That's what must have happened. I tell you,
like every scene, it's the same shot.
That's the money shot, because every time they showed the Titanic from a different angle as it was sinking, it was a different shot and it was all well animated.
Yeah.
Even the cheap 3D model of it that was used for the establishing shots throughout the rest of the film looked good. I mean, it was cheap 3D, but
yeah,
it still looked halfway decent.
Yeah.
And then you go into the ship and it's like early 2000s Flash animation.
Yeah. That's what it looks like.
Good Flash animation.
No.
This isn't even Homestar Runner good. This is like, I don't know, some crap on Newgrounds. Something old, something that was like thrown together in 5 seconds.
Right. But yeah, just I'm thinking like, because there again, go back to Food Fight, give Food Fight for what it was, even though it was a garbage dump of a movie. Be like, at least uses animation. This movie just goes everything, and
Yes.
it drove me nuts the entire movie. And there's points where it's just more like the character animations are just like, what in the? Did you even look at a reference?
I just now realized what this what this editing reminds me of. Think back to any like commercial or TV show where they had to put something on the TV. What they put on didn't matter. So they just kind of played something over and over again in a loop.
Yeah.
That's what this feels like. Like it's a bunch of random movements of things.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. And it's just playing on a loop.
Yeah.
Over and over again until it's like, oh, the scene's over. Let's move to loop B.
Yeah, exactly. And also be like, you take the like the character motions, be like, yeah, if you're be like, there are people out there, it's like, oh, rotoscoping's terrible. Rotoscoping, be like, whatever, tracking, whatever. At least the characters look like they're moving correctly.
Yes.
These characters be like, they're moving like this and just like all jagged and everything. Or they're floppy or something. It's ridiculous.
Now, part of me does want to say that, okay, yeah, probably in the original animation, the characters were speaking Italian because it's an Italian film.
Yes, agreed.
But even then, it doesn't feel like they did a good dub.
Yeah. This is a terrible dub.
It's a terrible dub, but to some degree, it's like, maybe, kind of. I don't know what. It's wacky.
Yeah.
Party time. It's party time. Everybody get you going because it's party time. This is just where my brain goes because it's like, that's the most interesting thing in the film.
Yeah.
My third dislike. The rapping dog is the most interesting thing in the film. The rapping dog is my favorite part of this film, as I said earlier.
Yes.
And I like being able to go, what stupid thing are we going to get into next? But the thing is, you take this story and it's boring. It's dull. And none of the other weird things that happen ever get to the level of rapping dog.
Yeah, that's the pinnacle of this movie.
There is a reason that everyone's description of this movie is it's a movie about the Titanic with a rapping dog in it.
Pretty much.
And the rapping dog's not even a main character.
No.
But everyone remembers it because it hits you. When that moment hits you, it's like you just entered a fever dream.
Very true.
But the sad thing is, it's a very poor fever dream because this was the most interesting part. The rest of it is like, okay, you didn't even try on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's the Moskowitz family, but it's not. I mean, we ran into the murder, but it's much more obvious now. Oh, look, there's the dog that they think is actually more in line with a bat. How do I know this? They said the joke 3 times. And then there's the Basset Hound that sounds like Sam Elliott, who keeps tripping the same people, and his gold digging mistress keeps saying, "Oh, you went with the wrong ones again. I want the rich guys, not these little poor beggars." It's like, they're trying to steal from you, lady. How have you not figured this out yet? And there was at one point where she's Angelica's got the locket back, and they're dancing in front of Molly, and Molly, for all she knows, that was a gift from her that was stolen.
Yes,
for her that was stolen.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, okay, she's going to have to open her eyes and realize, oh, there's the locket. And I'm watching going, is Molly going to keep her eyes closed throughout this entire song? Because she nearly does.
Yeah.
It's like, and then finally she opens it up at the last second. Oh, good. Now we have the plot, the bare bones plot can move on.
Yes.
This part of it anyway, because there's like 30 plots in this film, and they're all as thin as tissue paper.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like I said, if you can't be good, be interesting.
Yeah.
Don't be dull. And the thing is, there is a lot of small things that are interesting throughout this that kind of keep it elevated.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's dull.
Yeah. Agree.
There's a lot of stuff. It's like, I don't care about these bumbling idiots who can't steal out of the ship cabin. I don't care about that. I don't care about the and I got to realizing I maybe cared about Angelica's story.
Yeah.
Because she's the protagonist, the major protagonist.
Yeah.
She's obviously the one this story is focusing on. And I kind of cared for her because they put the most work into what she was doing and with William, admittedly. But I got to realizing I don't know or care or even really give a flying banana about who half these people are. I want to get back to the rapping dog. Because the rapping dog was the most interesting thing that's going on in this. Yes, I care about Angelica, but have her team up with the rapping dog to find her locket. That'd be a far more interesting movie. I'm not kidding. Every time bootleg Sherlock Holmes showed up,
Yeah.
I had to stop. It's a good thing they kept trying to make him say his speech, his introduction speech that he only got through one time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's bootleg Sherlock Holmes. Okay. Why do I care about you again? What are you doing? What's your point on being this? Oh, you're trying to catch Cruella de Vil knockoff and Dirk and Kirk, her two bumbling idiots.
Yeah. And doing a poor job.
And doing a poor job of it because I can tell you where they are. They're right over there. She's looking at the Dalmatians. She's sizing them up to make a fur coat out of them. And she's not, but she might as well be. The dog, the rapping dog, who is letting us know it's party time,
Yes.
is the most interesting thing in this film.
Yeah.
And that is why it's a dislike, because if you're going to have a bad but interesting film, you have to have more than one thing that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, you've got the Mexican rats or
Mhm.
Mexican mice, and they have their song in the middle near the end of it. I'm thinking, okay, that's kind of interesting, except I don't care about these characters, and it's been 45 minutes into this film.
Yeah.
And I don't care about these characters. They had one other line that says, oh, we've been on tour for a long time. It's like, you know what? I watched Speedy Gonzalez growing up. I don't really care too much about, the Mexican stereotyping and all that some people get weirded out on some of the reviews of this film.
Yeah.
This is not even really that bad in concept next to Speedy Gonzalez himself, which the Mexicans won't let you cancel him. So
That is true.
I'm not lying there. And
He's not.
when you have Gabriel Iglesias voice him in a movie,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
kind of lost the battle. But that was interesting, but it's just like, especially since the song makes no sense whatsoever.
Mhm.
But it's like, I don't even care about these people. But the only thing that I thought was interesting is like, oh yeah, everyone almost left Fat Cat and Bat Dog down in the hole to drown. But of course, knockoff Fievel has to save them.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Moving on. Rapping Dog, most interesting character in the film.
All right. So what is your score?
I give it a 1.
Okay.
It's better than it's not as good as Emoji Movie. Because the Emoji Movie has enough money behind it that it actually helped it a lot.
Yeah.
Through a lot of its weirdness.
Yeah.
It's better than Food Fight, but that's not saying much.
That is true.
It's trying. This is the kind of thing where it's like, if somebody if a bunch of people come over and says, hey, I got an idea. Y'all want to watch a really bad movie and make fun of it? They go, sure. It's like, okay, let me plug this bad boy in. Let me go to YouTube right quick. And we're going to watch Titanic. The legend goes on.
I love you have to do that every time.
Anyway, that brings us. What are you rating it? Sorry.
I'm gonna give it a 2. I'm gonna give it 2. There's little parts here and there I really enjoyed. There are little segments here and there. There again, the movie is just laughable and so confusing, and the reanimation makes you want to barf sometimes.
Mhm.
What I said earlier, but there's little things here and there that just be like, Food Fight was trash. Was a trash of film. Go back and listen to that review. But this movie, it kind of steps up the game a little bit. So I'm giving it a 2.
Okay. You want to get into some animated series?
Yeah.
Possibly Rapunzel.
Yes, please.
Once I find the intro.
And the masters of the universe.
Cats are on the move. Cats are loose. Cocktails, woo.
Let's get
first episode tonight is a character episode,
Mm-hmm.
and the final character episode for our good buddy Eugene Fitzherbert.
Mm-hmm.
Flynn Poster, directed by Tom Caulfield and written by Ricky Roxburgh. Summary goes, Eugene must track down and confront a thief who has stolen his former identity, Flynn Rider. Cast includes Clancy Brown as King Frederick, Julie Bowen as Queen Ariana, Chris Diamantopoulos as Flynn Rider / Brock Thunderstrike,
Yes.
Jeremy Jordan as Varian, Lance Henriksen as the Baron, Vivian Vencer as Kiera, Diedrich Bader as Stan the Guard, Sean Hayes as Pete the Guard, Charles Halford as Vladimir, and Steve Blum as Attila.
Mm-hmm.
The episode title is a play on the words imposter and what Rapunzel calls Brock Thunderstrike, due to him tarnishing her boyfriend's former reputation as a thief. And it's revealed in this episode that Eugene's wanted posters always got his nose wrong because the person who created the posters had damaged glasses.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Makes sense.
This is a really good episode.
It is.
And there was a part there, the minute they stole the crown, the same way Flynn Rider stole it in the movie, I thought, they're not going to do that. They're not going to have this whole thing repeat, but with the new Flynn Rider experiencing what old Flynn Rider experienced in the movie.
Yeah.
And they do. It became ridiculous after a
did.
point. It's like when he first meets Rapunzel, it's because he's tied to a chair in Rapunzel's hair. It's like, okay, what's next? At the end of and there's a couple other moments where it's like matching exactly. But my favorite one, and the one that made me have to pause the episode, is when they're getting attacked by the Baron, and Brock hits the Baron over the head with the frying pan and says, I've got to get me one of those. And I thought, I wasn't expecting it because it'd been a while since that joke was played.
Yeah.
He's copying Flynn Rider so much that his initial appearance is just like Flynn Rider's initial appearance.
Yeah.
And we played that joke out because we were in the middle of the thing and they're fighting the Baron. And it's like, okay, where's this going to go? I know he's going to come back. That's how this is going to work. It's how these shows think this is hard. I doubt they're going to really just decide to not have come back unless you're just going to be weird about it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, I didn't just do that. But anyway, yeah, I love that part of this. It's like every time they're hitting every single one of those original points.
Yeah.
I half expected them to be, they even go to the Snuggly Duckling.
Yeah.
They don't even get to go to the Snuggly Duckling much anymore. And they went there. And how does he escape the Snuggly Duckling? Same place he and Rapunzel escaped in the movie. The only thing we didn't see is the return to the logging camp.
True.
Probably because we didn't have time.
Probably not.
But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But this whole episode is great.
It is so
and it
good.
gives us some good character development on Eugene now that he's going to be captain of the guard.
Yeah. I like how they set that up.
Yeah.
Is that
because the episode starts. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
The episode starts and it's a battle between, the guards and Cassandra.
Yeah.
I'm going, this is playing rather early. I didn't think they were going to be playing into this until at least, the next episode. And you see the captain of the guard. It's like, yeah, it makes sense. He's going to have to go up against his daughter. That's an interesting thing to concept. And then it's a dream sequence.
Yes.
And he realizes he can't attack his girl.
Yeah.
His little girl. And they understood. And they let him step down.
Yeah. Which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that. I was like, it's like they really went there. Because it'd be like the entire, season 3, it's the captain of the guard struggling with this idea that be like, should he be the captain anymore? And he wants to find his little girl.
Yeah, you go back to the season 3 island episode.
Yeah.
And when he's had taken the wish totem thing and wished for Cassandra to come back, and you get the flies of the everything turning into Cassandra to attack him.
Yes.
The party. It's just hilarious. But that whole thing is like he wants his little girl back. and he almost is not taking no for an answer. And he realizes, yeah, he's stuck between. He's got a Kobayashi Maru situation going on where he's sworn to protect the kingdom. He can't fight his daughter.
Yeah, he can't.
She's the one attacking the kingdom.
Yeah.
You got to make a choice. And he chose, I can't do either one. So I'm going to have to step down and not be in that position.
And then they give it to Eugene. I was it does make sense.
Honestly,
it does.
It makes more sense to give it to him than to either Pete or Stan. They're not going to take over.
That is true. That is so true.
Honestly, Eugene has done more. I knew it was going to be Eugene before they even played with it, because it's like, dude, who has protected the princess more since she's come back?
Yeah.
It's been Eugene.
Yeah.
He's the one who should be captain of the guard.
True.
At least until they finally get married and she becomes the reigning queen and he gets to be her prince consort and doesn't have to be captain of the guard anymore, and they can give it to somebody else.
Yeah. Probably
Lance.
Probably Lance.
Lance, after he's had some training.
Just a little bit. Oh my gosh, let's talk about that. Okay, so Rapunzel and Eugene have to go wherever they're going to go find the imposter. The Eugene.
So they leave. It says the captain of the guard has to stay there. They leave
Eugene in charge.
Lance in charge.
And then
during all this, Varian is trying to build this early
detection system.
It was early, essentially an alarm for the kingdom.
Yeah.
That will, if they get attacked, they can fire this volley off and let everyone know. It's like, hey, kingdom's under attack, and Lance is screwing it up every 5 seconds. Because he thinks he's in charge, and of course he pays for that by being deaf for the last half of the episode.
My gosh, yeah.
And so I say he's deaf in the next episode too.
But that was
all
absolutely
things considered.
Yes, absolutely hysterical. Because definitely towards the end, kind of jumping ahead towards the end of the episode, is that Eugene is like, "Oh yeah, I learned this very valuable lesson," and Lance can't hear a thing.
And he's telling it to Lance. And we're hearing it from Lance's point of view, and so it's all muffled. It's like, we don't know what he's saying. We kind of know what he's saying because we were there, but it's like, and it's funny. Admittedly,
it is funny, very funny.
Anyway,
just oh my gosh, because Lance just be more like, it's like, hey, I'm in charge. Be like, it's like, oh, be like, oh, he's just trying to play it safe. Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
And he pours all the it blows up.
I love that point there. After it blows up, Varian just looks over at Lance and says, you added more of the Flintonian to it, didn't you?
Yeah.
And Lance goes, what? I made it better. It worked, didn't it?
Oh my gosh. So let's get back to the crux of the story, where it's Eugene confronting the guy who's stolen his identity of Flynn Rider. And it's be like, but he's going to tarnish my legacy. And it's more
really the legacy you want, Eugene? As someone who
exactly.
Stole stuff. I know that's all you had at the time, but you've grown past that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you're going to be the prince consort of the kingdom of Corona.
Yeah.
You do know that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's more than being Flynn Rider.
Yeah,
and I love that he grows from that experience, and he teaches the guy
good night, you're prince of the Dark Kingdom.
Yeah, exactly.
Not anything left of the Dark Kingdom, but
true.
Which more on a certain theory I had in the next episode.
Yes. But
fell through.
Yeah, but the imposter be like, it's more Eugene, giving this young man advice to be like, it's like, yeah, do you want your legacy to be that?
Yeah.
Be like, you can be you can be your own man outside of this, and it's not a way to go. And what is this character's name again?
Brock Thunderstrike. That's my favorite scene in there, that he's pouring his heart out much the same way Eugene poured his heart out to Rapunzel. It says, it was great to be Flynn Rider because no one wants to be with poor Brock Thunderstrike. Poor plain old Brock Thunderstrike. And Flynn just looks at it and goes, what'd you say your name was? I was like, at first I thought, okay, did I miss something? Does he know a Thunderstrike family? I was like, no, he's got a great name. He doesn't need the name Flynn Rider. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, he's missing the point.
Missing the whole stinking point.
It's like, yeah, when you got a name like Eugene Fitzherbert.
That makes sense because it's an unfortunate name.
Yeah.
No matter how you look at it.
And it's not even his real name.
Yeah, we don't even know his real name.
Yeah, we do.
We know Flint Rider. We know Eugene Fitzherbert. What was his name at the Dark Kingdom?
Hold on.
They said it, but it's like
They've said it. Hold on.
he barely ever went by it, so it doesn't really matter. Because even his dad's calling him Eugene now.
Yeah. But nuance. Be like, yeah, he actually just have an actual
Bruce
name.
Campbell's calling him Eugene now,
Yes.
so that's all that matters.
Agreed.
Anyway,
Yes.
it was a good episode.
Horace. That's it.
Horace. It's actually is worse than Eugene.
It's worse than Eugene.
But anyway,
Yeah.
uh
This is a good
this
episode.
is a good episode. And it's a great way to tie up, I think, Eugene's character arc for the series.
Yeah. Agreed.
Granted, he's got 4 more episodes after this.
Mhm.
And he's going to have some more growth there probably, but not
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot, because this is really putting the end to his big character arc of really that's been there since Tangled.
Yeah.
Who is he really? Is he Flynn Rider, the dashing thief, or is he Eugene Fitzherbert, the good man?
Yeah.
Because he's got to pick one of these personas. And that part of him becoming captain of the guard just really finishes him stepping up to that position.
And letting
Literally
go.
becoming what was his worst enemy
Yeah.
outside of Max.
Yeah. And now becoming Max's boss.
Which is, well, can you really be Max's boss? And the princess can, because she's the princess.
Well, hold
But-
on. Like towards at the end of Tangled, be like Rapunzel does say that Max does become captain of the guard
After this, probably.
after this. But it is unique. I mean, like it is very much an end of a chapter of where Eugene kind of steps into what he's supposed to be.
Yes. The role of a leader of the kingdom.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, before he met Rapunzel, he had no way of getting.
No, he doesn't.
Not really. So let's continue on to another character's, I'm not going to say final character episode,
Yeah.
but a major character episode in Once a Handmaiden.
Yeah. Agreed.
In this episode was directed by Phil Pignotti and written by Leanna Dindal. In this episode, disguised in a magical cloak, Cassandra sneaks back into Corona with the intention of making amends with Rapunzel. Cast includes Jeremy Jordan as Varian, Bruce Campbell as King Edmund, Clancy Brown as King Frederick, Jennifer Veal, who previously was Enchanted Girl. I am now going to go ahead and just put it out there. Xantiri, the
Yep.
villain of this show.
Yes.
Donna Murphy returns in a technically archive audio as Mother Gothel. Charles Halford as Vladimir. Suzanne Blakesley as Old Lady Crowley, and Steve Blum as Attila. Trivia for this one: like the season 2 episode title "Happiness Is," this episode title is also a partial popular quote.
Yeah.
Some goofs for this one. Operation Obsidian disappeared, but is replaced with a different one when Varian is shown to be wearing his outfit, apron, gloves, and shoes from season 1 at the end, near the end of Rapunzel's return, while he
Yeah.
is sitting on Fidela before a guard comes to tell Eugene that Cassandra is inside Corona to attack Rapunzel. Also, when Varian is on Fidela, waiting for a guard alongside Eugene and Maxima, Fidela's saddle doesn't have a sun symbol on it.
Mm-hmm.
And even though Varian says that he doesn't want to hurt Cassandra during the episode, but during the episode Secret of the Sun Drop, he did hurt Cassandra and Queen Ariana after he grabbed his former crush and Rapunzel's mom with the giant robot hands because he wanted Rapunzel to feel the same amount of pain and agony that he had. When she finds the other piece of the mirror
Yeah.
from Tale of Two Sisters,
Mm-hmm.
and she sees the scene that we saw as that
Yeah.
episode ended, I thought, is she going to turn tail here and then team up with the crew to fight Xantiri?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that what this episode's going to be? It felt for a long time.
Yeah.
That's what this episode is going to be. Also, before I get too much farther, I say this is the best Goodwill Games episode we've had.
Agreed.
Because the other two are no. But this one, a lot better
Yes.
because it actually has something to do with the stupid story. I'm not saying the story is stupid. It's just I've been frustrated with some of the filler in this series.
Agreed.
But the whole, I was really hoping by the end of this, it was going to turn into, she's done with Xantiri. She's back on the side there of the Rapunzel. And I thought maybe perhaps the series finale was just going to be all three of them teaming up to take on Xantiri. Nope. I don't know how the last 3 episodes are going to go that we're reviewing next week.
Oh, they're
'cause
good.
I haven't watched it yet. But wow, the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Wow. Xantiri, I hate you more than I hated Mother Gothel. Actually, that's not true. I still hate Mother Gothel more. Because it's that love to hate thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Xantiri is just comically evil so
Uh-huh.
far. Hasn't really done anything that's like makes me hate you, except little things here and there that sets her plans or his plans, whatever gender they are, off. But for the most part, it's just been hasn't really done anything. She's done some insidious things.
Yes.
But for the most part, it's still not. We're still focusing on Cassandra as the villain.
Yeah.
She's still the Darth Vader to her. They're still focusing on the Darth Vader, and they haven't focused on the Palpatine yet,
Yeah.
for lack of a better analogy.
Oh, that'll come.
Oh, I'm sure, because we've only got 3 episodes left, people,
Mm-hmm.
before we're done with Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure. And then only one short after that to finish all of the Tangled chronology, for lack of a better term. The Tangled canon.
Yeah, there we go.
So, and we haven't figured out how we're doing that yet, but this episode is so good.
Yes.
It is. I hurt for there were times it really felt like they were about to get back together.
Mm-hmm.
It was this close, and the part that was really getting to me is when they're in the play. Cassandra is having to play Rapunzel and see the events of the end of the beginning of season 3 from Rapunzel's point of view.
Oh yeah.
And because Attila just leaves, as he won't do improv, and Rapunzel jumps up to play Cassandra, and now she's seeing it from Cassandra's point of view,
Mm-hmm.
and it confuses everyone in the audience. It's like, well, wait, I thought she was the bad guy, and Rapunzel was a good guy. Says, who's really the villain of this piece? And they both say at the same time, it's complicated. It's like, yeah, that's 9/10 of the point here.
Yeah.
You are really this was a nice kind of compression of the relationship issues
Yeah.
Cassandra and Rapunzel have had, I think, really through season 2 and 3.
Mhm. Yeah.
And some of season 1, but season 1 it was not much.
Yeah.
It really felt like they were coming to a head, and it was going so well until Varian had to bring Project Obsidian to stop Cassandra.
Yeah.
And really, that makes some sense. But Xantiri had to push the plunger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everything goes to pot.
Yeah. Just correct me if I'm wrong. Where doesn't Xantiri pull the cloak off of
Yes, she does.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But at the same time, I'm sitting there going, Cassandra, just take the cloak off. Rapunzel is right there. She will protect you from these people because she might as well be the queen right now.
Yeah, pretty
because
much. She has the power.
The actual king and queen are not doing jack squat.
That is true.
I'm sorry, King Frederick. You hadn't done anything all season.
True. Your daughters do primarily it.
She's done more work than you have. Granted, up until what was that, halfway through the season?
Yeah.
You had amnesia.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that is
I will
fair.
forgive you for that much.
It's fair.
Up to the King and Queen of Hearts, I think it was. I
Yeah.
think that was the name of the episode.
Yes.
But anyway, she's just talk to each other. This would save so much time. You were in a private place where y'all could talk and get it out. And you left to go to another private place where Xantiri could take the cloak off of you. Cassandra, what the crap are you doing? This is still a good episode.
Yes, it is.
And I know they could not. Granted, I think it would have been cool for Cassandra to turn on Xantiri in this episode, and then them both having to fight, and then maybe Cassandra gets kidnapped and I don't know, brainwashed or something. I don't know.
Pull a Power Rangers in space.
That's honestly, that's where my brain went. It's like, yeah, go Stronema on her. But just, I was hoping it's like, maybe this is granted, I know the next three episodes are probably going to be epic.
Yeah.
Because it's honestly the end of a very well-made series. Let's be honest.
Yeah, agreed.
But I was like, I just kept feeling like we are almost at the turning point, and I know what you're doing. You're trying to give us hope so that you can pull it away, so that going into the last episode, we're primed and pumped to see how is this going to end. Are they actually going to have to fight each other, and is one person going to have to kill the other?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, kids show. Is one person going to have to destroy the other?
Yeah.
Granted, I have seen a screenshot that makes me think otherwise.
Okay.
All I'm going to say.
Okay.
I suspect hugs will be all around.
Maybe.
But until that moment, we've got 3 episodes that are whose names are in Latin, I must add.
Yeah, they are Latin.
They're Latin. It's like, what is this? Final Fantasy? One-winged Cassandra?
Oh my gosh.
I need to edit that now. After I see the episode, because that's where all the good fight scenes are going to be.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
But anyway, I'm going to let you talk here in just a second. I'm almost done. This is a good episode.
It is.
It made me. It gave you enough hope that it's leading so well into the next episode, because obviously this episode ends where the next one has to begin. There's not going to be any intervening time other than maybe a couple hours.
Yeah.
But man, this was done so well. What are your thoughts on this episode?
Man, I think you literally took all the words I was going to say and articulated so well with this. This is a very powerful episode where Cassandra learns the truth that Xantiri's been lying to her.
Yeah.
And turns on her and be like, oh, I'm going to try to patch up the relationship I had with Rapunzel. Maybe I can make this work. And of course, Xantiri is going to have nothing to do with it. Be like, I'm going to mess this up because it's my plan. You're not screwing my plan up.
Yeah.
And we'll find what she does later. But it's so good. But it's just like, it's so beautifully well done that it's the fact to be like these two basically sisters are trying to talk to each other, but they don't know they're talking to each other.
Right.
And it's just beautiful dynamic. And then you have the variants. What was the system called again?
Project Obsidian.
Project Obsidian. You have that place. It's beautifully set up, and just like everything that's going on. And you get to the point.
Also, I'd like to point out Project Obsidian did nothing to stop Cassandra except make her mad.
Yeah, exactly.
So thanks, Eugene.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm
Eugene.
blaming you more than I'm blaming Varian. Varian's just trying.
Yes. Yeah, there's the point where obviously Xantiri pulls the cloak off her, revealing it's Cassandra. And it's like, Rapunzel's trying to tell people, don't do anything. And of course,
and everyone's ignoring her. And of course, then the potion, Cassandra throws the potion down and it knocks Rapunzel out. It's like, well, it's all going to go to pot now.
Yeah. And be like,
it can't go well after this point.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, it's so well done. Be like, there's the point where I love this point. It's the point, like even in the notes, it says, be like, you want me to be the bad guy? Fine. I'll be the bad guy. It's like, you're being your mother.
Because she's quoting, not directly quoting, but she's finishing her mother's sentence.
Yes.
Because in the movie, when Rapunzel finally figures it out, she says, great, now I'm the bad guy.
That's like
this one, it's, you want me to be the bad guy? Fine, I'm the bad guy.
It's literally a verbatim quote. What Mother Ethel said, verbatim.
Still, it's
so well done.
Yes,
it's like, oh my gosh, and then she literally destroys Corona.
There's a light moment I have to bring up.
Okay,
during the play when Attila is still playing Cassandra.
Oh god,
It's hilarious by itself. And he throws up the black rocks. And they're a little delayed because Angry and Red, I'm sorry, that's how I still think of these two characters.
Yeah.
They just kind of just jump up like real quick. It's like, and they're just smiling there. I'm looking at it going, I know that they just drew these characters to do this one scene, and now they don't really they can't animate them, so they're just kind of just sitting there and blinking every once in a while so they don't look dead. Like Shorty does like half the time in some of his
Right.
But which by the way, he had a lot of good Shorty in this episode too. But that little shot of them just standing there, and it looks like they're leaning towards Rapunzel.
Oh yeah.
And I'm looking going, are you thinking she's going to tell you a secret, kids? And it took a little bit away from the scene because I'm looking at them going, they just look a little too eager to be to be listening in on the conversation.
Oh
when
my
in reality,
god.
it's just, they're playing the Black Rocks. They have to lean forward because that's what the Black Rocks do. Granted, you don't need people playing this. Good night. Put Red in the role of Cassandra. She'd do better than Attila did. Especially when she turns into a giant werewolf. Granted, we haven't gotten much of that since they revealed that.
True.
We better get that in the finale.
But oh my gosh, this is a good episode. And how the episode ends, Rapunzel wakes up. She wakes up and they're in the Snuggly Duckling. It's like, what's going on? And she runs out and sees Corona is surrounded by the Black Rocks.
Yes.
And then we go into Corona, and literally Cassandra has made herself a throne.
She's not made herself a throne. She's sitting on King Frederick's
that's right.
throne.
She's sitting on the throne. That's right.
While
And
Queen Ariana's throne is like impaled with one of the Black Rocks.
Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Be like, I've seen it. I know what happens. I'm gonna rewatch it again because it's so freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just stay tuned until next week. This is gonna be a freaking epic conclusion to Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure.
I want to bring up an interesting thing though.
Okay.
I didn't talk about this in Flynn Poster, but when the rooster is going off, you know, their advanced warning system.
Yeah.
For a short second, the way they framed it going around the castle, it kind of looked like the Walt Disney logo, right?
It did.
And then you get this one. Yeah, there's no fireworks going off, but it's kind of the same angles, except there's spikes everywhere.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, and there's Maleficent. There's Sleeping Beauty's castle after Maleficent took over.
Pretty much.
Because it's Sleeping Beauty's castle in the logo.
Yeah, it is.
That's always has been since they introduced the logo. Since they left RKO.
Mm-hmm.
But they did here's Sleeping Beauty's castle, and we in the last episode, and then into this episode, we still get Sleeping Beauty's castle, but covered in vines, because we are finally entering the climax of the Disney princess story that I had not realized until this point. We didn't get entangled. It was a different ending than we normally get, but now we're getting the true ending of a Disney princess movie.
Pretty much.
Where they're going to have to, except it's not going to be a dashing prince going to save a princess. It's going to be much like Frozen.
Yeah.
Two sisters having to come against each other.
Yeah.
And probably the sisterly love's going to win out in the end.
Possibly.
I hope.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I think that brings us to the end of this. Unless you've got something else to add.
It's oh my gosh, guys. Be like, just wait. Be like, we're gonna do the review. If you've already watched it, hold your reviews to the very end and let us know what you think. No spoilers beforehand, but hang on. It's gonna be good.
Fair warning, next episode, it's gonna be longer than this one, and this one's been a long one.
Yeah.
Not because of Titanic, the legend goes on, but because these two episodes were really, really good.
They were really good. Agreed.
But yeah, I think that's going to be it for us, guys. Yeah. In the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
You can follow Jacob on his Facebook at Jacob B. Heron. His Facebook page, Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where he tries to draw each and every day. His Instagram at Jacob B. Heron. His Twitter at Jacob Heron. And his Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. You can find Drew on Facebook at Drew Dodgen. His Facebook page Drew's Photo Bin to see his photography. His Letterboxd page at ggeorge759. His Twitter at ggeorge759. And Instagram at Drew Dodgen. You can like us on Facebook at the Cellcast Podcast, on Twitch at the Cellcast Gaming,
On YouTube at Cellcast.
on Twitter at cast_cell. The Cellcast can be found at Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts are downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us and also on Podchaser. Email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. The Cellcast is a proud member of both the Pop Americana and Culture Box media networks. For more information, please see the link in the description. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. And remember, that's Cell with a single L.
You know there's something you should know, so I'm gonna tell you so. Don't sweat it, forget it, enjoy the show. Working all day, now it's time to unwind. Kick back, relax, take a load off your mind. I'll be busting the moves and I'll be busting the rhymes. We busting up laughing because it's party time. I'm surprised I found those lyrics.
It's okay, fine. You want to be the bad guy? I'll be the bad guy. Just shut the dog up.
That's the end of the episode, guys. We're gonna be raiding LJ the Paladin tonight. So he looks like he's playing GoldenEye 007. So enjoy
Nice.
that if you're still in our Twitch chat. But thank you all for joining us. We'll be finishing up Bad Movie Month next week with Leo the Lion, King of the Jungle,
Yes.
and of course the end of Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure, which we should have been. If I had not been slow at getting us back to this, we should have done at the end of last year.
But hey, we're finally getting there.
We're here. We're almost there. It's all good. But yeah, thank y'all for joining us, and we will catch y'all later.
Later.
This goes. If it goes.